The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Thursday, August 5th, 2021, years after zero, and today is a colossal day. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop, and you listening at SiriusXM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, or online at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Watching along, I can't thank you enough because today is a day we've been dreaming about for a long time.
Yeah!
Hey, ever since we seen the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium defeat Patrick Mahomes in no offensive line in the Super Bowl, we've been waiting, we've been yearning, we've been hoping, we've been learning about everything that could potentially happen this upcoming fall, and today is the day where NFL football will be played on a high school football field.
Yeah!
It was a long, long road to get here, filled with all types of bullshit, both from within the sport and outside of the sport.
Yep.
There's a lot of teams that got better, a lot of teams perceived to have gotten worse, but now we will get a chance to see players that'll probably not be in the NFL play in an NFL game tonight, and I think that is a cause for celebration.
Hell yeah!
Fox Cable's here, at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Tone Diggs is in here early. The Hammer Down boys will be in with Gumpy in the next hour and going forward. It's a beautiful day. It's a magical day because tonight when the Steelers and Cowboys step onto that football field in Canton, Ohio, and Dave Baker is looking on from the side in a beautiful sport coat and a suit. It's probably going to be 200 degrees with Steelers fans packing that place hot tonight. We're going to get a chance to get a taste of something that's magical, something that carries us through our entire existence, something that makes us feel better than we feel any other time of the year. Football will be in the air. NFL football is right around the corner. And tonight we're going to get at least 10 to 12 good plays of football. And that is what? 10 to 12 more good plays of football than we had when? Yesterday. To join us, to chat with us, there is no other human we'd rather have. Is he on? What's that? To talk to us about it. Let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who's a two-time Super Bowl champion. Just one-time winner of the Walter Peyton Man of the Year award. What a fucking loser. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Law. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I did win the Community Service Award once. I did a lot of good stuff off the field there, guys.
Yeah, you're a hero. I mean, you didn't win it twice. You only won it once. You could have won back-to-back, but you didn't. You must let off a little bit. But everything you did in the communities you played for and other communities is honorable. I want to let you know, as somebody that watched on from outside, you're a cool dude. I want to let you know. Now, let's talk about your forehead right there. Win bet. Congratulations. I saw that.
I'm covering my forehead. I reached for a hat. I swear, this is the classic. Like, hey, I just picked the T-shirt on top of the, in the top of the drawer. It really is WinBet, dude. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to just plug my employer here, but it's a nice hat. When somebody sends you a free hat and it actually fits, you got to wear it.
Well, they're your employer. They're also paying you to wear it. But the free hat is also, I'm down with the free hat as well. And listen, I don't know who I'm trying to kid either. FanDuel is sitting right over my shoulder every single day. So,
yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're not my employer. But let's talk about it. So you're full-time with WinBet. Is that how that whole thing worked out? What they pick up, the Greenlight Pod and everything else? You're going to be creating stuff all season for them?
Yeah, so basically the nice thing is I signed with Blue Wire.
What's that?
And those guys, shout out to them.
What's that?
Basically, they house a lot of podcasts and essentially it's a platform. So
got it.
Nice thing is I can kind of be myself, kind of keep doing the show how we want to do it. You know how important autonomy is and how important, creative control is. And they're like, we believe in you. We're going to give you the reins. And then WinBet's running their stuff through them. And so
got it.
do a lot of gambling stuff through WinBet. And WinBet's like new and exciting. So good chance to do what I love, which is piss money away betting on football games.
Hey, listen, with your big brain, you're going to win money on football.
I don't know about that.
No, listen, you know what it's going to be, though, Chris? And this happened with me after I retired. I have a lot of Italian friends, always have, and they've been degenerates with shady bookies for a long, long time. I literally stayed out of it because I didn't want to be the Pete Rose, right? We were kind of told there's literally posters everywhere, like, hey, don't fucking be Pete Rose. Like, don't do it. You know what I mean? And now, listen, I think Pete Rose maybe is in a comeback trail and everything like that. He was supposed to come on the show last week. He canceled 20 minutes beforehand. But Pete Rose, don't
that sounds about it. Let me back up for a second here. That sounds like something maybe Pete Rose would do. No offense to Pete Rose.
No, bingo. It was almost better than him coming on the show. It was like, oh, Pete Rose pulled a Pete Rose. But like that was forced on a lot of us. And I assume through you as well, especially with your dad's legacy. And then as soon as I retired, I started dabbling in it. And I was like starting to get confident, comfortable. I started making some real money in football gambling. I'm like, how you doing? Keep it moving. FanDuel starts happening. We go, it's when you start betting on shit you don't know. And that, hey, Chris, that's going to happen. Listen, you're going to get into basketball. You're going to be like, I fucking feel it. I know this is going to, and that's where it's going to go.
I think I have the opposite problem. Stuff I know, I fuck up royally. So, like, we think we know football really well, right? So you got to bet the entire board. Like, I'm the worst. I got like 5 teasers out there. I have like 5 parlays, and then the 3 bets I win are just negated by all that bullshit I do on the side. But I do it for the thrill. I don't I have enough money. Like you have enough money.
You'll learn. Thrill. Chris, you'll learn. You will.
I know a lot of old guys who never did.
No, but you're smarter than those guys. Listen, and the Italians have even caught on to it. So even if the biggest degenerates can do it, now, unless you just want to give money back, which I don't think you want to do, you'll learn like, okay, I'm not going to pull the trigger on every single game because there is a lot of good-looking lines out there.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
too many.
Tonight, hey. Steelers.
Oh, yeah, we bet in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm betting you over. Tonight, 32.5 points. I just think there's going to be some freak touchdowns. Have you played in the Hall of Fame game, and what are your thoughts on preseason football as a whole, Chris?
Okay, first, who's playing tonight so I can bet the game?
Steelers.
I totally check out on this shit.
Yeah, us too. Steelers, Cowboys. No Dak, no Ben. Mason Rudolph starting for the Steelers.
Ooh, it's going to be chaos out there. I'd love to bet this game. Okay. One time I had to play in the Hall of Fame game. It was we were going to play, I think, the Browns, and when I saw it on our schedule the spring before, I just about cried.
Yeah.
Like just think about having to do a 5th preseason game, like 6 days before you report or after you report. Like, that's like just jumping off a 3rd-story balcony. Like, you just hit the ground, dude. It's just like there's no time to get ready for that. So I think, it's a really awesome thing, that they bring all the Hall of Famers back. My pops gets to go. He just got on a plane today to go back, and he loves that. He sees all those guys that he respected as a kid, like his heroes are wearing the same jacket he is, and they all hang out, and they really respect the event. And then to see him on the field is really cool. But the active football part of it is tough.
Terrible.
You know what I mean?
It is terrible.
And
Chris.
I got lucky. We had a lockout. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
The lockout year?
Oh, yeah.
So that was the year we were supposed to do the Hall of Fame game. And I was like, if this lockout could just end, but right after the Hall of Fame game, that would be great. And that's exactly what happened.
Chris, you and I both, I think, and we didn't have to play in a Hall of Fame game that year. We played in it the year the field wasn't good enough for us to play on. You remember that? Ooh. So we were both scheduled to play in a Hall of Fame game. Guess what? Neither of us did. Look at us.
Hey, paulrudd.gif.
Hey, yeah. Look at us. Who would have thought? Huh? Who would have thought?
I mean, come on, man. That's some good fortune right there. So, listen, preseason as a whole, I do think there's value in shortening it. I can remember when, something like Osi Umenyiora tears his ACL in preseason. It's just such a waste of certain dudes to go out there and get hurt. And also, it's really hard to get in a rhythm. You know how, like, first game you don't play a lot if you're a starter. Second game you play a little bit more. Third game you play a lot. And then the 4th game, you coast. I'd rather just do 2 games, get it over with, play me 30 snaps, and let's just rip the Band-Aid off. If we just did 2 and we moved on, the thing that really wears on you is the practice as much as anything. So if you're doing another week of practice, preparing for that game, it can really wear you down. And I think it's really hard. You don't glean a lot from preseason. Every year there's a guy who has 5 sacks in preseason, and everybody's like, oh, he's going to be an all-pro. I had 1 sack in preseason. I had 70 in my career. So it really just doesn't matter. I mean, I hate to say that. It matters for the guys fighting for a roster.
Hold on. So this is what I'm going to get into, Chris, because like the Lions, I think they were undefeated in the preseason the year they won 0-16 or whatever. Right? And the Colts here have always had bad preseasons because the team wasn't very deep, but the starters were incredible and they didn't want to risk anything like that. You were going to say like the roster spot. I think there should be maybe a game or 2 games. You play in a position that would have to get into rhythm a little bit more. You said 2 games would be good. And then there should just be an advertised bubble game. Like, hey, this is a bubble game. We have no idea if these guys are going to be on our team or one of the other 31 teams, or maybe selling insurance. Like, hey, we have no idea what's going to happen. And just like kind of note it that way, as opposed to, because remember, they're selling tickets to these things, and like season ticket holders have to buy the tickets for the preseason games. And tonight we'll watch, I told the boys, first drive, we'll be excited NFL football's back. And then I don't even know if I'll make it to the second quarter before going, oh, this is fucking terrible football. It's not the player's fault. It's like 6 days you're in there.
And I try to be, listen, I get it. A lot of my good buddies, and probably yours too, were guys who were scrapping for spots. And I respect that. Like, shout out to guys like Darren Bates and special teams guys who, came in the league without the same opportunities that high draft picks did. Sorry, let me move this camera. But, like, it's just for an older guy or for a starter, literally the best part is when you're taken out of the game and you reach down in your sock for that tin of dip or that bag of peanuts, sit on the bench and you hang out the second half and you just watch football. Like, that's my favorite part. So in a sense, I kind of get why y'all like to watch football. It's a lot of fun. It was different. But everything else, you're just nervous you get hurt. One time after I was coming off an injury, Jeff Fisher had me in there in like the 4th quarter of the 3rd game. Like I was IR the year before, so he was like trying to see if I was back. I wasn't. And I made a big play, and I'm getting up, and I'm like, motherfucker, I'm cheering and all this shit. And people are like, man, you were really fired up. And I was like, no, I was cussing out coach. I didn't want to be in that thing. So, that's preseason, man. You just got to put your head down and get through it.
So tonight, actually, my sources are telling me that there's a chance that a certain kicker will not be kicking for a certain team due to a Hall of Fame game injury that had happened to that same team's kicker who was very fucking good just a few years back. Swisham tore his ACL, I think, trying to make a tackle in the
Sushi, unfortunately.
Swisham tore his ACL in a Hall of Fame game, kicker, trying to make a tackle. He's out. Then they have Scobie in there. He misses every kick for some reason.
Oh, not Scobie.
Yeah, Scobie had a bad game. Scobie had a bad run with the Steelers. Down in Jacksonville, he's great. Oh, you don't like – hey, what you got beef with Scobes?
No, I'm just laughing because, like, so much about the kicking game, and I'm like, yeah, Scobie, I remember.
Oh, Chris, fuck off. All right, listen, go to hell. All right, you just listen off some special teamers, but I have some inside information happening on tonight's game, so the over might be in jeopardy.
It always has been,
no.
The over might be in jeopardy. I'm not 100%.
I'll fuck around and bet unders. People are always like, life's too short to bet unders. I'm like, this seems perfect. Life seems perfect to bet unders.
Yeah, you seem like a miserable person. I mean, right over here, same.
You say it yourself early in camp, see ball, get ball. Defense has the
defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've
We've
watched
got unders betters in there, so that's good.
Yeah, so I've watched, a lot of football. Preseason football. I think that is something that a lot of punters, kickers, and snappers, like, now granted, you have to take advantage of that opportunity, but I've been very lucky to be like front row to watch basically every aspect of NFL football. Now, preseason's a nightmare for me, okay? I'm going out there in 4th quarter with 3 McDonald's workers blocking on the right side of the punt team, okay? I mean, it is a little bit nightmare, but early in training camp, and you tell me if I'm accurate in my observation, it's always see ball, get ball. Defense kills early. And unless the offense is a veteran group that's been around for a long time, it feels like defense does run the show early. Is that because the scheme doesn't really matter as much on the defensive side and you just kind of got to run around and just find the ball and go full speed? It doesn't matter what happens?
Well, I think a lot of times early in camp, like something, you alluded to something being more complex, like offensive blocking schemes protections are more complex than, we've got a 9, a 7, a 3, and a shade, or we have 2 9s and we're going, or like, hey, maybe you've got a blitzer in the B gap and we've been drilling that little thing all day, but on the other side, they're learning like 7 iterations of protection. And, there's more like throwing and catching the football, handoffs, like stuff like that, false starts, the snap count. Like early in training camp, I do think that the defense kind of naturally sets the tone. And then when I think you get to that first preseason game, if you ask like position players, I feel like, at least in my experience, that the offense was always good for going on some long ass drive, like the beginning of, because you're so tired.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no way to get in football shape unless you play like real football, and that's the catch-22 of shortening the preseason. Is like, I don't care how long or how tough your camp was. I don't care how many up downs you're doing, which I'm totally cool with over there in Detroit.
Down ups, by the way. The media called them down ups, dude. It was awesome. It was awesome. Look,
They said what?
down ups. They called them down.
Oh,
ups.
down ups.
Yeah.
Good. And so the media is definitely qualified to comment on the ability of these coaches without seeing them coach a game. But like, I just think you're going to be gassed that first preseason drive.
Yeah.
Like some of the most tired I've ever been has been that drive where every third down we're running basic shit because you don't want to show anything, right? So offenses are kind of converting. You're tired. They're not having to run to the football like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's funny. The first day of camp, I think the defense owns it. The first preseason game, at least I felt like we gave up a lot of big drives in the beginning.
And then also those second, third, fourth quarters, especially in this first game, and for the Steelers, Cowboys, these first two games, you know, those are all the young guys. And those guys have no idea. They're dead tired, too. They're doing like 60, 70 plays, some guys. On the defensive side, they're playing a lot.
And special teams.
And they're supposed to block, for me, by the way. And they've never
done that
in their entire life. And they have no idea. It's a lot easier to block a punt, by the way, than to block for a punt. For me, preseason, preseason was get me the fuck out of here. I hope to survive, but
I don't know. I want to say this though, Pat. Like I was pretty. I mean, I didn't fear a lot of stuff on the field. You can't to play. But if I had to block a punt, I'd be kind of fucking afraid of your foot. Dude.
Thank you. That means a lot. There's a guy named Brahman who, you know Brahman? You know Brahman.
Brian Brayman?
Yeah.
Oh, Brian Brayman's an absolute psycho.
Hey, is his head not this large, dude?
Bro, the guy is a legend. If you can hear his Super Bowl speech before we went out to play the Patriots, like I don't remember much about what he said, but it was definitely like we were playing Call of Duty, not like not going to play a football game. But he's just insane, bro. He was like a special teams demon, bro.
He was a terrorist for the brand. Okay, that's what he was. He was the first ever terrorist for the brand. He's this big white dude. His head is massive. He's his long hair. He's got a 40-pack, I think, and
he's built like it's like an upside down A down to the waist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a cool thing. I'm built like a rectangle. As hard as I work, as much as I cut weight, he's just built like an upside down A. He looks like he stepped off of a motorcycle, and he just runs out on the field like
and blocks punts.
Decapitates people.
Yeah, and blocks punts. He had a string there, I think, of like 2 to 3 straight years where he either got a deflection, tried to break my leg, or blocked a punt. All in use. It was like before the game too. I think we were here's him breaking my fucking leg. By the way, no penalty was called here. You see, I do end up kicking that thing like 33 yards, I think. My leg wraps around his leg though. Oh. But he was so nice that he actually conformed around my knee that he actually was like a little brace for me.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, it was nice of him.
Yeah, it was very nice of him to do that. He did say immediately upon us both being on the ground that it did hurt and asked me if I was okay. And then I said, yeah, fuck. And then I look at the ref and there's no flag. I'm like, are we kidding right now? Are we even kidding right now? But that's
I mean, guys that look like they're in biker gangs can have compassion too. I
mean, he was the man. Hey, he was the man. I wish I could have heard that speech. I mean,
well, it's out there. I think it's out there on like YouTube.com and stuff. So,
all right, I'll check it out. YouTube.com. Yeah. Can we talk about the state of the NFL media? Can we do that? You just
yeah, sure we can. Yeah.
All right, good.
Are we a part of that? Am I a part of that?
Yeah. See, that's kind of a battle that I'm having right now because I remember hearing media people say, the media is doing blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you're in the media. And I guess you and I are pretty large parts of the media now on the internet at least, and it's very lucky to do so. So whenever we point fingers at other members of the media, I think we kind of sound like, non-self-aware douches. But I would like to say that I think the media covering things, there's a lot of people forgetting about what football is like, and I think they're trying to paint like a fairy tale world of what football is. And people who have been in football are like, should be able to say, like, no, that's not what it's like at all. For instance, Motor City Dan Campbell up there, him saying that he loved seeing his two young guys get after it. And everybody's like, this guy is a maniac. And now that comes after the knee biting and everything like that. That is been Dan Campbell and being his own self. But like fights, football is a physical sport. It's a violent sport. 100 degrees, people running, that's going to happen. The people in the Giants now, push-ups I would never do in a million years, but the fans are like, Joe Judge has lost a team because there was a fight and Danny Dimes shouldn't be in there. It's like, no, this is what happens. Like, hey, this is what happens in football. I feel like a lot of people have forgot that, though, whenever they get on a microphone. What's that all about, Chris?
Well, listen, and, I know you're not doing it either. We're not painting with a broad brush or anything. I mean, like, I don't think it's just there's a general, when it comes to things like that, everybody likes to sound smart and say, like, we're above that. We don't fight anymore. This is Neanderthal football. This coach is a Neanderthal. This is archaic. The problem is I think a lot of that commentary goes on Twitter where like 95% of people didn't play. And that's no offense. Like I think media members can do a great job without having played.
Agreed. This is broad brush stuff. This is broad. We're not painting with a broad brush.
Some of our best media members who are the most insightful didn't play. Like Bill Barnwell, my dog, shout him out. Like, guys like that. Bill didn't play. He knows like so much about the game. It's just there's guys and girls who, look at things and they're like, I'm afraid to not overreact to this soundbite from Dan Campbell because Florio, who I like, misquotes him or, somebody takes a quote out of context or we all agree that this guy was a terrible hire because he does stink like a terrible hire. It's Detroit. The guy came out of nowhere. So a lot of people are thinking like, what are they doing? But like, for instance, Dan Campbell, there's been this narrative that he's going to fail because he's a hardo. And I don't even think people know what a hardo is in the NFL. Hardos don't smile. Hardos don't talk to the media. Hardos don't joke with their players. Hardos don't share. You know what I mean? Dan has done all those things. And I think, like, if you want to know if players are going to like a coach or not, ask a fucking player. How about that? And players that I've talked to really like the guy. I'm not saying he's going to be a great coach. I have no idea. But he would be a perfect example of the way we've kind of stigmatized this football guy thing to the point that, like, if we even sniff it, automatically the guy's going to suck. If he wins games, people are going to be obsessed with his shtick or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
And I buy his shtick because I think he's authentic. Now, can he coach? We'll see. I don't know. But he's a perfect example of everybody kind of piling on. And I know people didn't like the hire. And listen, the Rooney Rule thing, it's been really rough, for black coaches watching. And this guy and many other guys seem like we're coming out of nowhere, like out of the woodwork. Where'd they find this guy? But he's coached under Sean Payton. He's got experience. He's dealt with both sides of the locker room, and guys love him. And you know what? If Detroit wants to make that call, maybe they're going to be hitting the reset button in a year or two, but it's not like the last 15 coaches have worked out very well for them outside Jim Caldwell.
Well, I agree, and they ran him out of town because he wasn't good enough. I mean, we're good now, but you're not good enough. Get him the fuck out. He doesn't smile either, the guy. I love Jim Caldwell, but
he's awesome.
I don't know how many coaches wanted the Detroit job. Like, I know, I assume the common thought is everybody who's coaching wants to be a head coach in the NFL. I agree. But I think now at this point, we're seeing a lot of players take a little bit less money to stay in good positions. I think you're seeing a lot of good coaches potentially change their strategy on where they want to go, how they want to go, because of what Chris just said, how in 1 year they might be firing you, your whole family, and moving everything like that. So I'm not saying that there wasn't other coaches that were maybe more qualified to get the Lions job. I assume that there definitely was. But I think Dan Campbell is like the perfect person for the Lions job. I'm not sure that was a very desirable position for anybody. He's bought in completely. And I found that very deep of you saying, like, people don't even know hardos in the football world, because I think immediately when I look at Dan Campbell, I'm like, okay, this is a meathead. But then whenever you listen to him speak, it's like, oh, it's a deep thinking meathead.
He's a compassionate meatball.
Yeah,
and like
deep
I'm
thinker.
A compassionate meatball. So
Me
I'm not
too, I
throwing
think.
shade. Listen, the guy gets people. Now, I don't know if he's going to get, like, building an offense around Jared Goff. I don't know if he's going to put his coaches in the right position. I'll tell you what he has done. That staff that they kind of put together is, like, the coolest staff in the history of football. Like, these dudes are all ballers, and they're all cool. My man Deuce is up there from Philly. Brad's up there, GM
Antoine Randall,
in LA, and they're just cool. And he did a great job of assembling a staff. Now it's going to be his job to manage the situation. If he can't, he won't be there long. But give the guy a chance. Maybe he's not the asshole that you think he is because you're afraid to retweet something that you think is a little cavemanish. Like, that's his style.
Hey, listen, Caveman has won a lot of football games. I mean,
Caveman has won a lot of football games.
A lot of it. Go ahead.
You know what? Here's the other thing. A lot of people don't even like the Hardo thing. Like, some of the media's favorite people are Hardos, and they don't even know it. Like, that's the thing. Like, the media doesn't, and I'm including myself in this. If I was looking at the NBA or something and I didn't play, and I was like, well, I think this guy looks like kind of a dick, or this guy looks like he's cool, or this guy's humble. Like, we don't really know. We weren't around these guys. We weren't in locker rooms. And you can know a lot about the game of football without having that kind of sixth sense about people and teammates and what players are into or not into. I think a lot of times there's a disconnect between the media at large and what, like, players think.
I would say. Like, I think that is a very, very true statement. And if he has success, you know what every other owner is going to be looking for as soon as he has success. Hey, we need a big, deep-thinking meathead. I need two black eyes, man. And what do you say? I need two black eyes.
Pike, black, two shots in each. Black eyes.
Oh, dude, listen. The only thing I don't like about Dan Campbell in the entire world, and by the way, there's no like Dan Campbell trend because God only made one Dan Campbell. You can't go like after he succeeds. If he does, you can't be like, where are the other Dan Campbell's? Like, there's just one. But it's unfortunate that he's an addict because I found that out. He's a caffeine addict, that illicit drug that you're all hooked on. He's drinking 100 ounces a day.
That's in the morning. That's in the morning, I think. We're talking about the level of addiction that you are referring to is alarming. But hey, by the way, a lot of caffeine addicts have won a lot of games.
No doubt. I used to be one. I have to comment because life is better without it.
Well, it depends on if they win or lose. I'll tell you what, that's the only thing it's going to depend upon whether or not life is good over there. We're talking to Chris Long, two-time Super Bowl champion, only one time Walter Peyton Manning.
Yikes.
That's a shame. That's a real shame. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Chris, Pat alluded to the push-ups Joe Judge was making players do, and Joe Looney actually retired the second that he heard that he had to do it. When you were in New England, you were already an established vet in the league. Was there ever a time where he kind of made players do laps or, do push-ups, and everyone was like, hey, Bill, come on, man?
No, I think honestly, like, I didn't think New England's camp was that crazy, like that hard. I think every organization runs camp differently, every coach, and Lord knows I had 7 coaches in St. Louis alone. So, I mean, it ran the gambit. My toughest camp was like pre-CBA, 2-a-days with Steve Spagnuolo. So, like, after that, it was like, after the CBA that we were talking about earlier, like, it was all downhill. So even when I got to England, I was just like, man, I wish y'all had more windows in the facility. That was my biggest complaint. It's like a compound. But, some of my favorite coaches made me do up downs. Greg Williams is one of my favorite coaches. I know, again, the media doesn't like Greg Williams. Some players might not like him. Some players will walk through hell for him. So
you're one of those guys.
He used to make us do 40 up downs. So you'd practice the whole summer for having to do 40 up downs before team periods. And then when we get to camp, we'd get to 25 and he'd blow the whistle. It was like a big joke. Like, so it was basically you practice it all summer and then you didn't even have to pass it if it looked like you were in shape.
The take the head off, the rest of the snake will die guy was making you guys do 40 up downs before team periods. Are you serious?
Listen, we had a group that we were hell on wheels, so we didn't mind doing it. But also, like I said, it was like, hey, do 25, I'm going to blow the whistle. I will say this with the Joe Judge thing. I don't mind push-ups, and I love that Looney retired because I think that's great. Whenever anybody has the balls to walk out of a facility, I think you're a legend. like Vontae Davis.
The best.
like all-time legend for just – because you know how coaches always say if you don't want to be here, leave. I love the guy that's like, okay.
Hey, you said it. You said it, man. Because that is the classic quote.
Go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that's a classic quote. And there's always the people that the new coaches started saying, hey, if you're falling asleep in a meeting, just stand up. It won't be a problem. And then somebody stands up and like, sit the fuck down. What the fuck is your problem? Leave.
If you don't want to be here, leave. And then you're like, you go from standing to leaving. But I look at it like, I'm fine with doing that to the players, but I don't get the making the coaches jog thing. And I know like players don't often advocate for coaches, but they do work really hard. And if I was an assistant coach and my coach made me run, I would probably not be an assistant coach for long.
I think that it might have happened last year with the Italian offensive line coach. And by the way, the players.
Scar?
No, Colombo and Joe Judge allegedly got into a fist fight. Allegedly last year.
I wonder how that went. I mean, Joe's a big guy. Joe could probably hold his own, but Colombo was not only big, but he's in a metal band.
Jeez. So I didn't know that. That does change the odds mightily more into his favor because I think he's also 6 foot 10 or something like that. I mean, metal
I'd rather
band?
fight a 6'10" guy than like a 6'1" guy.
I'm 6'1". What you would? Okay, so you'd rather fight Colombo than me? Is that?
Yeah, it was a compliment somehow.
Hey, I've been in the Oculus, Chris. I've been in the Oculus. I've been doing. Go ahead, Dick.
Chris, can I ask
I thought
you?
You were going to say octagon. You said Oculus.
Yeah. Fake, not real. Yeah. Go ahead.
Chris, I wanted to ask you about kind of your position. So T.J. Watt, Bud Dupree played together forever. They were a great complement to each other. What happens when one of those guys, they leave and now you don't have the guy on the other side? Like, how do you guys deal with that?
It's funny, it's true. I mean, like me and Robert Quinn got to rush together, years where he was doing 19 on like a bad team, like guy's a mutant. But I mean, that was great. But the guy that really makes a difference, I think both those guys will be fine. I do think Bud's a really great all-around player. I hope that Tennessee does enough to accentuate all the good things he does. And I hope they don't just say like, we're just going to evaluate you on if you get 10 sacks. Because that's not exactly always who he is. I do think an inside rusher helps more than, an end on the other side. I think so because, and one thing is when you have two different rushers, it's really nice to have two rushers that have different styles. There's a few examples of that around the league, but because then you can run high-low. One guy can go speed, one guy can go power. You don't want to both be going speed at 9 yards and run into each other. It looks like a shitty car crash.
Yeah.
So it's good to have varying styles, but more than anything, I think it's the inside guys because they make the tackle kind of peer down at them. They make the tackle tighten and leave a hand in there. If you're playing next to Fletcher Cox, that's going to change things. If you're playing next to Aaron Donald, which one of my biggest regrets is I got hurt when he got drafted.
Shouldn't done
you can run naturals off those guys. Like, so if Fletcher Cox gets off the ball, which he always does, if he beats your old ass off the ball, then you just go around him. If he goes to power, and this is why it's nice to have an experienced rusher next to a guy inside, like everything's an option. And if you're looking inside, your periphery sees that massive dude in the B gap raising hell, and you can kind of adjust off that person. And also you can work a lot with that person pre-snap, but a lot of his natural stuff. So I think the inside guy makes more of a difference than the guy on the other side of you.
Steelers need to bring back Casey Hampton if they want T.J. Watt to really do some damage.
Dude, the guys they got in there, man.
Cam Hayward's there. I completely forgot. He picked up an offensive lineman who is very good, going to be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, that offensive lineman is going to be in the Hall of Fame, only going into like his third year at this point, fourth year at this point.
Who was it?
Quentin Nelson. I mean, there was.
Oh, you're talking about Quentin Nelson. Yeah, I mean, shoe in for the Hall of Fame.
Shoe in for the Hall of Fame. Maybe greatest guard of all time when it's all said and done. There's obviously
maybe, I don't know. Yeah, there might be a little indie thing going on here, but I do think he's the real deal. I remember when he pulled in Philly the first time I ever played the Colts with him on, and a lot of times on those counter plays, I just set my feet and kind of like just shoulder a guy who's pulling. I took 5 hop steps and I was on the hash. I was like, what the fuck is this guy? His head the size of Steve Hutchinson's. There's only one guy with a head the size of Steve Hutchinson's I've ever played. Other than Steve Hutchinson, it was Quentin Nelson.
Hey, he's going to get broken off here as he deserves. But what Cam was able to do to him just on one particular play, it affected our season forever.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And like, Cam and Tuitt. I mean, Tuitt's been a guy who's been massively underrated. And they do a lot of different stuff there. So it's like, they can be multiple. Those guys can move around. They can play different roles. I think TJ is going to be fine. I think Bud's going to be fine as long as Tennessee uses him correctly.
All right. Ty's got this last question. We can't thank you enough for your time here, Chris. You're the man. What do you got today? Brother. You got a guitar? You got an unplugged situation going on?
Yeah, I don't play a guitar, but that's... I'm not trying to be a douche, but it's signed by Chris Stapleton. So
that's the guy that did that Justin Timberlake
Tennessee
performance.
Come on, man. Hey, y'all need to get some steel drivers going on here. You know steel drivers?
Absolutely.
Steel drivers. That's Chris Stapleton's old bluegrass band. Everybody that's listening, go bless yourself.
Hey, shout out Chris Stapleton and the bluegrass band that he's got. What did he do? He wrote a bunch of songs for people for a long time. What they say, you're not attractive enough to be the country musician, so he had to write songs for everybody. And then he came out and he was better than fucking everybody.
I guess country music executives don't like printing fucking money because this guy is like one of the greatest voices of like the modern era, and he can play 5 different kinds of music.
Yeah, he's awesome. Go ahead, Ty.
Chris, were you as surprised as a lot of the media and some former players that Aaron Rodgers' teammates didn't bar him from returning to the Packers locker room? Like, did that ever happen in one of your off seasons where like a guy maybe had like a messy contract situation and you basically told him like, hey, fuck it, we don't want you back here. You're not coming in the locker room.
I was shocked that they didn't bar the door. I mean, nothing says I want to win a Super Bowl more than like locking Aaron Rodgers out of the building. So like,
get out.
I just it's funny, like, and you know this, Pat, but you've sat around locker rooms when dudes are like sitting out. Like the third corner will be like, dude, I'm trying to get my money. And dudes will be like, get your money, dude.
Hey, get it.
You know, like the third corner. Okay. So, and usually the third corner thinks he's worth more than he is. No offense to nickels. I think nickels are actually more realistic than just a corner.
They're going to get mad that you lump them in with corners, though, because now nickel's its own position. I mean, you're going to piss people off no matter what you just said right there. So
yeah, no, I'm sorry. I respect the fuck out of the position. It's just corners have to be confident, is all I'm saying. So a lot of times they're going to be like, yo, I'm worth $10 million, and dudes are like, go get your money. Like I say that to say, when Aaron Rodgers, quite possibly, you know, if we have the GOAT and best ever conversation, I like the way some people have framed that with Brady's the GOAT, Rodgers might be the best ever. Like the guy that just makes you go, wow. You know, I think when you have a guy like that on your team, don't you want to win a Super Bowl? Don't you want him back in the building? I mean, Bakhtiari bought him a golf cart. Like, how's that seem to be going? Like, seems like everybody's pretty happy to have him back. And, you know, I think the guy who's really on the hot seat in Green Bay, you kind of want to be Randall Cobb, but you kind of don't want to be Randall Cobb.
This is tough.
If you don't play well this year, they're going to be like, yo, we fought the Trojan War over Randall Cobb. They fought a fucking war over Randall Cobb. You know how cool and terrifying it is to be Randall Cobb?
All right, now listen. I don't think that is the exact way to describe the situation, but Randall Cobb is the picture of like Aaron being like, yeah, this is the first of many. And if I think Randall's going to play well, but you're 100%. I think our first thoughts were like, all right, Randall got a ball out. Hey, this is going to have to be the thing.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And you know, like you and I were talking offline, Pat, but like, you talk about, this isn't some people have said it's not a championship locker room or something, or
yes,
you know, that it's maybe it's not like, maybe the chemistry's messed up. No, I think the chemistry in the locker room's fine. I think the chemistry between upstairs and the locker room ain't great there. And I think that what Aaron did, and this was really good of him, as he was laying out the situations, he went to bat for players in the past. I mean, that's the kind of guy he is, where he thinks about his teammates. And, you know, you could see that most of the grumblings in the offseason were like dissatisfaction with upstairs, whether it was, you know, Zadarius Smith, who's an absolute dog, and you should never let him leave the building. You know, I mean, golly, it's like pass rush porn. It's awesome. But like Zadarius Smith, those guys that were kind of bitching, they weren't bitching about Aaron Rodgers. Like, guys can play for the name on the back of the jersey, and by that I mean like all your teammates' names. I don't mean like everybody makes it an A or B thing. Either you play for the name on the back of your jersey or you play for the name on the front of it. No, you can play for your teammates too. And I think what you're going to have there, even if they're pissed at, you know, I still am afraid to say his name, Gutekunst. You know, even if you're pissed at Brian G., you know, like,
we don't say that word.
Playing for Aaron Rodgers and Zadarius Smith and all those guys. I mean, you're playing for each other. So I think that team's going to be close.
Trent Dilfer described it as a bunker mentality. And I think that is such a great way to describe that. And I think the locker room, by the way, after watching what Aaron's doing, for different reasons, like for me, and for you, I think you're a guy that you love that just walks out of the building. Somebody that is looking right at their boss who is fucking up and saying, fuck you, like, I have a lot of respect for that. Like, that is something that I love. And guys are going to have respect for what he's saying for former players. Guys are going to have a lot of respect for maybe their futures. Like, Jordan Love is watching this potentially going like, hey, thank you. So, like, if I end up being the player that I was traded up in the first round to be, maybe my life will be different here as well. I think the team will love it even more. I'm happy you do. We have to get you out of here. I can't thank you enough, man. You're the best.
Of course, man. Sorry about the billboards.
No, you get your money, dude. Hey, get your money, dude.
Oh, yeah. Money.
Get your money.
Yeah,
dude.
get your money.
Yeah, get your money, dude. Do what you got to do, ladies and gentlemen. Only one time.
Come on.
Only one time. How many years were you in the league?
11.
10 times he did not win.
Yikes.
Brutal.
Only
Yeah,
once.
that's bad. It's really bad.
Only once was he the Walter Payton Man of the Year. But hey, great host of the Green Light Pod, 2-time Super Bowl champion, very deep thinker, well-spoken. Only won the Walter Payton Man of the Year one time. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Long.
All right, y'all.
Hey, see you, Chris. Thank you, man. He was out. He does have something to do. We overstayed. We did the whole thing.
Yeah. He's a very busy guy.
Very. I mean, is he not insanely busy out there? What just happened? We just have a full glitch right there?
Yeah, I
What
don't know.
Yeah, so
What just happened?
Cyber attack.
Is everything all right? Are we getting attacked? You know, while that conversation was happening, there was a lot of text messages going off in my phone. You got, and I gave a little peeksy there while we were towards the end of it. What the hell is going on in the NFL right now? There is,
We have some breaking news, yeah.
Well, first of all, thanks to Chris Long, by the way. I hope you have a great
thank
day.
you.
Love you, Chris.
There has been a lot of activity in the group text for people that weren't in the conversation. I literally looked down, but it was like 6 minutes ago, and there is what happened. This has to be a big deal.
I got good news and bad news for you.
I'm always ahead. Let's go with the good news.
Good news. Your old friend Alberto Riveron is retiring from the NFL.
Let's go! Hey, whoa. We don't know him as a person.
Correct.
All right, hey, Al, hell of a run, dude.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you. Al, thank you for everything you did, okay, for the game and your service. There's a couple things you did that I didn't necessarily enjoy. A lot of things, but after learning more information about what you were being told to do versus what my expectations were, vastly different. Thanks for everything. It's a shame, man. It's a real shame. The game will miss you, Mr. Riveron, and thanks for everything. Good news. All right, we got to get to a break.
News.
Don't want to hear the bad news.
Okay.
No.
That was like good. We're going right into a break. Great conversation with Chris Long. Now we go right into a break. What happened?
Your better friend, Walt Anderson, is replacing him.
Oh, no.
So they went with somebody older than Alberto Riveron? Like, hey, Walt and I have actual beef, all right? Walt and I tried to ruin my life in the London game. Okay? Walt did. He called an offsides on me when my cadence was not offsides at all. We should have been able to go for 2 actually from the 1 yard line on an extra point for the 15. That Vinatieri actually had to kick a 38-yard extra point instead of a 33-yard extra point because my cadence, okay, and they had a D tackle that was very large, okay, and he was doing damage, and he jumps off sides, flag gets called. All of a sudden, there's a ref meeting happening, okay, and Matt Overton, our long snapper, actually pokes his little ear into the ref meeting. All the other refs say false start, no, 90, whatever, blah blah blah. Walt looks at him, looks at me, and goes, "I'm calling it on number 1. False start." Kicking team, number 1.
Oh, no.
Whatever it is, 5-yard penalty. So now Vinatieri's mad at me. Okay.
Right.
He's pissed off at me. I hate Walt at this point. Then I have to be reminded that Walt didn't let us use any of the broke-in footballs in London either. He actually had us kick brand new fucking footballs because the broken footballs he threw to the side and did something else with. So Walt and I have personal beef, but let's just assume he can't be worse than what has been happening in there. But there is a chance that this was not a good hire. There is a chance that the reviews that we've all questioned on Twitter, and Twitter never comes together for anything.
No, they don't.
Twitter is never never on the same side of things. There is a lot of times when these reviews happen and people are challenging things that the entire internet, even the team that'll get screwed over from a penalty being overturned, all on the same side. And somehow the messaging that came out of Alberto Riveron's review command center was the complete opposite of that. And everybody's like, what are we doing? Then you got the people, why are we challenging? It's taking more time, yada, yada, yada. It's bad for the game. Why are we doing technology? Why are we using technology? I'm like, let's make the game right. Let's utilize technology. We got 4K cameras, 8K cameras. They move at what? 7,000 frames a second or 8,000 frames a second. Let's utilize that for the good. And I thought there was a chance that maybe the technology was too advanced for the people that were maybe looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It took a long time. Now we do have the Hawkeye review system.
Bingo.
And it's not just television producers deciding what replays the review system or people are allowed to look at, which is mind-boggling that that's been happening for so long. We just learned of that. What is it? It's the synchronized synchronized motion replay.
Yes.
Whatever it is. They're going to be able to see all the clips of the play on one particular screen. So the review should get better. You would think it would have got better. They would have used new technology, maybe went with somebody who could probably be able to utilize it in a very efficient, quick fashion, and also maybe has, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, younger eyes in this whole thing, make this thing speed up quicker instead to get the oldest ref that was ever on a field and a guy that I had personal beef with, which, let's not make this all about me. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have beefs with Walt, but he has to do better than what it has been. Hopefully the NFL will allow it to work.
Well, on the bright side, if it doesn't, at least we got a guy to, aim the vitriol at.
Got him.
Yeah, but how? This is billions and billions of dollars. How is that? Now, Walt has been around the game a long time, okay? Contributions for decades and decades. Very thankful for that, okay? Very thankful for anybody that, especially at that position where nobody likes you. Right? Yeah. Nobody likes you. Yeah. I appreciate it. But I think towards the end, everybody said, okay, we don't want Walt on the field. And then now they're like, you know what? Let's put Walt in charge of fucking everything. What are we doing?
Walter might be a maestro with that Xbox controller, and that's why they're bringing him in,
Spring chicken.
All right, let's get to a break. 4 minutes, we're back. Some phone calls maybe and other chatter. Jesus. I mean, we took one step pretty forward into the future of the game.
Yeah.
And then, just like, what is this one? This is the salsa tango or the waltz, where you go one step forward and then immediately we just went
tango.
Right back.
Tango.
I learned that. I think you.
Yeah, tango.
Right. That's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Normally it takes
Riveron's
two,
out.
But you're doing it pretty well.
Waltz in.
Boom.
Riveron's out. Woo, we're going. Waltz in. All right. I waltzed into the tango, into a situation that I honestly could have never seen coming. We're back in 4 minutes. Cheers. The NFL is implementing the Hawkeye replay system, which has the smart technology, which is synchronized multi-angle replay technology, which allows the ref to view all of the shots and angles of a certain play at the same damn time, as opposed to what they've been doing all along, which is TV producers deciding what replays they see when. Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable.
What? Now, we know a lot about these TV producers, okay?
Yeah.
I couldn't see Joey Josh Chestnut eat his 76th fucking hot dog, all right?
Bullshit.
On 4th of July to break his own record because of a production. Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of other rather terrible decisions made in television, in broadcasting of games made. Those same people now, I'm learning, were the people that were deciding what angles the 95-year-old refs in the NFL were getting to see. This is absurd. Thankful that the XFL, who had the Hawkeye smart technology, synchronized multi-angle replay technology, either created, invented, or used from other places, like tennis has this, I believe. I like that we're expediting the replay system. I like that we're getting up with the times. Replay should be an asset to the NFL, as opposed to what it is, which seems to be a burden. The pass interference replay thing, because of how terrible they botched the execution of that, it probably will never be brought up or thought about again, because fans will be able to say, oh, remember when they did that last time? It's like, no, remember how they executed that last time. The replay system is run by people who have not a lot of experience with maybe quick, slow-mo, fast forward, maybe just content being in their face all day, every day. I like that we're making this better. It's better for the game. It's better for everybody. There's a lot of money on the line. Let's not let a opportunity pass where we can utilize technology to make sure the right shit gets done. Let's just do it in a much more efficient fashion. I've always felt that way, AJ.
Well, it's much more efficient, but it makes me question, like, how did we go this long to where a TV producer is controlling what replays, what angles you're going to see, like, for the referee? Like, that kind of blows my mind when you think about it.
Yeah, I read it yesterday and I almost axled my pants.
Yeah.
I didn't because I'm an adult, but you get it.
Right. I don't know. I bet you have in the last 5 years.
No, I haven't, but there was that one time where I thought it was going to be a sound, and it was actually action.
Yeah, a little close. That's a different story, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't a full axle, I don't think.
Yeah, no, sharding is not
You didn't
pooping.
step in it.
Whoa, I have a little couth on for the goddamn good of the show. But speaking of that, I was quite alarmed whenever I read that TV producer. I'm like, the same people that are making a lot of the decisions that we get a chance to witness every single week are the same people that are deciding whether or not a play that I have a lot of money riding on potentially is overturned or not. I am not about that.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back. It's great to be an NFL fan. We have NFL football tonight on a high school football field with guys that maybe be coaching high school football this upcoming season. And Walt Anderson is now in Georgia replays. Oh, no. The more and more I think about it, like the more and more I'm a little bit flustered on how this happened.
Crushing.
Kick to the gut sack.
Mm-hmm.
It is a kick right to the gut sack, isn't it?
Yeah.
Replay system.
This is an Andrew Luck situation. Retires right in the middle of preseason. What's Riveron doing?
Yeah, did he get forced out? Did Walt force him out? Like, do we have a potential? What's going on up there? Or was Riveron not able to work the Xbox controller?
That could be it.
And that all panic happened before tonight's game. Because what if there's a review tonight? It's going to be Walt's first night here on the job?
I would assume
Has
so.
to be.
So is Hawkeye technologies being introduced into the NFL in its 102nd season? 101st, 102nd? 102nd?
102nd.
Yeah,
102nd season. And we need somebody who's close enough to the age of the NFL to run this newest technology that's possible out there.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Uh-huh.
What's Blandino doing?
Dean Blandino, they're all raking checks in from the networks.
Yeah.
Diggs, that's what happens. So
thought
all the good refs, hey, even Paisan.
Yeah.
Easy.
Herrera.
Yeah, no,
Gene.
Portuguese.
Gene Steratore.
Gene should be running everything.
Yeah, Gene's Western Pennsylvania, that guy. All these TV networks, they're paying triple, quadruple the amount of money that the NFL's paying the refs.
Yeah.
And these refs that love officiating, I mean, Gene was doing baseball, basketball.
Oh, yeah.
He just loved reffing. And then I assume CBS was like, hey, here's 5 times what you're making. You don't have to do it. You don't have to travel at all. We just need you to talk. Gene's like, Yin's paying that much money, huh? Sure. I guess I'll come around there. But that they started plucking all the good refs out of the league, and then there's no real funnel system in there. And maybe that's why Walt has to do this particular job, because they don't have enough people to potentially run it. And all the good people are getting paid by the networks to judge the bad ones. And then you always hear the good refs in the booth sticking up for the bad refs on the field.
Yeah.
Because the good refs in the booth know that the bad refs are on the field because the good refs are all getting paid in the booth.
That's right.
Everybody wants to get good on the field so they can get paid in the booth. Good luck out there, Walt. We appreciate it. AJ Hawks on the other side, hour 2 and 6 minutes. Cheers.
Late in the game, had a
they wouldn't show up because I play for the Packers. But I had a pretty sweet no-looker to Devontae on the last drive that I'd kind of set up for a few plays. Because Darius is so athletic side to side. He loves reading your eyes. And I just kind of came back and looked left and then looked outside him on the right and threw it behind him to...
Go get him! Hey, I'm so thankful Patrick Mahomes brought that into the NFL.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good for him.
Yeah, I know. It's just none of us been doing it for a while. I will say this. A guy who probably doesn't get anywhere near the credit.
Brett.
We're doing shit like that all the time. He wears number 9 and plays in Detroit. Okay, that dude, what he does with the ball, it's impressive. It's really, really impressive. And I know Dan Orlovsky will highlight some stuff from time to time, sure, because they play together and they're good friends, which he should. But that dude's throwing crazy no-lookers all the time. And he can throw from any arm angle. I don't think he gets. Maybe it's Detroit. Maybe it's based on they haven't.
They just got lost 20-0 to the Panthers. They just lost 20-0 to the Panthers. I mean, that's.
I know. But he didn't. They had some guys out, Pat. Let's take it.
I just saw a picture of you getting out of, I think, a 757 that was from Jim Irsay. What was that, and have you ever been in that plane before?
I thought it was like the team plane to fly all of the Indianapolis Colts. Literally, it's got the logo on it, Pat, and it was awesome. But look, that's just Jim. Pat, I had a wonderful 14 years there. It's obviously the team that I wanted to play for always. I understood the decision he had to make, and no hard feelings, and for him to send his plane to fly me and my son down here, it was a great gesture. A lot of room for me and Marshall. We were throwing the football. Pretty cool experience. Pretty cool father-son weekend.
By the way, as he's moving from event to event right now, you are the best, dude. Where are you headed right now?
I'm going to the game. I got Lynch. I got Faneca. I got these guys in the background.
Boys, congratulations. Yeah! Congratulations, boys. All right, Peyton. Oh, hey, there he is. Marshall, I hope you enjoyed that plane, pal. Hey, Peyton, last thing here. You talking to Tom Brady, you becoming friends with him. It was interesting to watch. Oh, yeah, take the photo. Take the photo. All right, we will wrap this up.
Well, I'll tell you, Pat, I don't think anybody can do what Tom has done. Look, I know how hard it was for me to get on the same page with my receivers, learn a new system, learn new coaches. But I had a full off season. I was injured. I was rehabbing. The fact that Tom has done this in a COVID pandemic off season, no time to meet with his receivers. He met with his coaches illegally by breaking into Byron Leftwich's house. So besides that, it's been incredible what he's been able to accomplish, and he deserves all the credit. His leadership is what's put the Bucs in this game today, and I have great respect for him because I know how hard it is, but he deserves all the credit.
Hey, how did you know Red 18 was coming?
Pat, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you telling that story and just growing the legend. That was about the 18th time I tried it. I was over 17 going into that. And, when it doesn't hit, you just keep walking and nobody ever really tells you about it. So when it hit, I was as surprised as you were. And the reaction from some of the good old folks there in the casino that night was pretty special.
Well, I appreciate you doing that. You made me and those folks in the casino a bunch of money. Congrats on the Hall of Fame nod. Thank you for spending time. Enjoy yourself at the game, Peyton.
Pat, thanks, pal. I appreciate you.
The Sheriff, Hall of Famer, Peyton Manning.
First things first, 50 yards, trash can, drop into the bucket, accuracy contest. Apple, set go. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it.
All right, let's see how easy it is to catch now with the boys. Fine, maybe to play down low. All right, so you can throw the shit out of it and catch it. I think the XFL ball gets a big pass. By the way, I hit some bombs with it as well.
Dahn.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Thursday, August 5th, 2021, years after zero. There's NFL teams playing football on a high school field tonight. Let's be excited.
Yes!
Hour 2 has the Hammer Down boys in their entirety in here. Welcome into the studio. Gumpy, how'd we do last night?
2 and 3.
I knew it. We were hyping it up too much.
That's why we said enjoy it.
That's what happens.
But
And the first couple times we talked about his heater, you know, I wanted to put it out there like, hey, we're potentially, and we kind of moved right by it.
Right.
Yesterday, I got a little bit arrogant. You know, I got a little bit cocky. We started hammering. We're like, hey, it was hard. 18 and 4 in his last 22.
Come on.
And we were making these all public bets, by the way. This isn't like, hey, posting afterwards. He's calling it how it is. I thought it was potentially going to happen, but I want to let you know what happened last night isn't Gumpy.
No.
Just because there was one little hurdle in a run that has been majestic doesn't mean you're going to get on the other side of that thing and finish strong. You're about to get back into that heater that you were once on for 5-6 months straight, bud. Don't you worry about last night, Gumpy.
we'll bounce back tonight, and then we got footy starting this weekend. I mean, let's go.
Hey, speaking of footy, hey, Messi ain't going Barcelona.
What?
Get Messi over here.
Thought he had a contract.
It is, isn't
Let's
it?
get Messi over
Hey,
here.
the Messi situation's getting messy, dude. I guess it's further than it's ever been apart on these negotiations. I was told by our soccer expert, Gumpy, he was a free agent to become a Barcelona at a like 60% reduced salary after winning the COVID Gold Copa Cup down there. And now he's not going back. You said the entire league was pitching in money to keep him there. What's going on? Is he pissed off at the entire country?
Turns out when you ask an entire league to pay a guy's salary to play for just one team, might not work out that way.
Oh, so the rest of the teams were saying, we're not going to help you pay for the best player.
You beat the shit out of us and we'll pay you for it?
Okay, so hold on, because that's why we were so surprised by soccer doing that.
Yeah.
We're like, wow, people were paying to keep the superstar in the league. Now, that was just all one big fugace. That was not real?
Feels as if.
Soccer's awesome. There's so many dramatics.
Wow.
You know, it's just
my
like,
God.
you know, everything's the World Cup, basically. And then the storylines behind it's like baseball here. I mean, it is. Soccer is fascinating. I can see how you guys get like hook, line, and sinker into that thing all the way.
If he's available, the Chicago Fire need to give Messi $500 million right now.
Let's go.
Hey, down there at Kanye's house?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. The
Atlanta United?
Right, that's right.
Yeah, with Josef Martinez,
The guy's
who
a
is
goal
a
scorer.
goal scorer.
Yeah.
And I talked to him, and he doesn't speak much English, so it had to go through a translator. But I made him laugh a couple times.
Nice.
There you go.
And it was an interview for SeatGeek out there. I went out there because SeatGeek became the main ticketer for MLS. And we got there, and everybody I was talking to for SeatGeek, none of them spoke English.
Wow.
So it was,
Okay.
I spoke to 4 or 5 different translators, and then Tim Howard came through at the end of the day, full uniform on, stopped by just to talk to me, he said. It was very nice of him. He probably said that to everybody, but he was awesome. He laughed, he whistled, he had a lot of energy. And I feel like we played Bop It.
Great game.
Bop It is a great way to, if you can't speak the same language, like let's go ahead and get it, everybody kind of gets it. He was electrifying. He's a player. Now, Kanye's living in his stadium. They're shooting up lights like the Pope has been decided upon or whatever. Donda might be coming out soon, but get Messi on the Atlanta United. They'll be filling up that Sphincter Stadium like this, Kanye's house.
By the way, if you don't have to pay the transfer fee, I'm not sure if you do. If there's no transfer fee, another team could just pay Messi fucking absurd.
Well, that's what we're saying. The Portland Timbers.
Yeah, exactly. The Seattle Sounders.
By the way,
Columbus Crew, maybe. Hey, this is a new stadium.
Toronto FC.
Oh, could you imagine when Messi's playing in the MLS? We're winning the Copa, the Concacaf, and the Europes, and the World Cup. Oh, my God. The soccer community's going to throw a fit.
Shout out you being an MLS expert. Josef Martinez scored 2 goals yesterday for Atlanta United. You knew it.
Yeah, you should see him play Bop It, dude.
Did he play with his feet or his hands?
I don't remember. I think somebody did use their. Who else? There's Mohammed.
I think the guy for Seattle was
said Sanu.
Clint Dempsey.
No, Clint Dempsey was not there.
He was like the MVP of the league, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. These translators, too, did not deliver my questions in the fashion that it actually turned into me questioning then their delivery.
Yeah, really? Yes, it did.
I need a little bit more energy whenever you ask that question.
Reflection, please.
And then all of a sudden the person now is understanding what I'm saying. So we had quite an interesting thing, but we're soccer experts, and America's about to be the greatest. That's awesome. I can't believe Messi's going to be in the MLS. Let's go.
It's crazy.
Just like Wayne Rooney, just like David Beckham,
Thierry Henry,
Ibrahimovic, just like all the greats have done. Messi's coming to the MLS. Cristiano's probably not far behind. I mean, say hello to the new world power in soccer. That's us. Speaking of soccer expert out of Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. AJ. Oh, nice shirt.
Now we know why. The glitch.
What's up?
I do appreciate the fact that you go.
Hey, actually, first off, I forgot. I didn't mean to cut you off, but congratulations, Walt Anderson, 68 years young. 68 is the new 25. The dude is going to kill it. Congrats to Walt and his family. I hope Riveron gets a good gig, maybe with a network afterwards. So good luck, Walt. I can't wait to see you in action. Hopefully tonight.
Hey, thank you, AJ.
Yeah, attaboy.
AJ, you're a hero, man.
Thank you.
You're a hero for that. You're a good steward of the game. You know what I mean? You're very nice to say things like that, especially to somebody that is committed 5 decades of their life to NFL football, which Walt Anderson has done. I mean, it is fascinating how this man has committed so much of his time to the game and to the league to make it what it is. And we appreciate Walt for that. I mean, don't we? We appreciate
Walt. Thank you, Walt.
We appreciate Walt for that. But I think there is still time for Walt to look Kamish right in the eyes and say, hey, I ain't the fucking right guy to do this. You know what I mean? I think Walt could potentially say, and maybe Walt's tryout audition, like Robert Griffin III's, was better than they've ever seen before. Now, that would mean he would have to be better than Alberto Riveron, which is going to be tough. Yeah. That's going to be tough to do. Good. But also Blandino back there. I think Pereira, so maybe they love what Walt is potentially going to be, but AJ, this is a bad decision, especially on Hall of Fame game day. Like, what do we even know? How does this happen? How does this happen, AJ? You came in here pandering, obviously, to Walt Anderson's family, which I'm assuming he's a good guy. Fucked me over, but I'm assuming he's a good guy, okay? I bet that's the case. How is this the decision that is made, AJ?
Well, okay, give me some other options. Who else would you want to have this gig?
Any ex-player.
Well, this is just like, though, anytime a coach gets hired to be a head coach somewhere, and everyone's like, oh, terrible job. I'm like, all right, well, you please tell me who I should hire. Or if you're saying, hey, you need to fire this coach, yeah, maybe, but can you give me a list of candidates that will be better than this person?
Hey, here we go. Here's an empty sheet of paper, all right? This is a better fucking candidate, I think.
Yep.
I wish they would have just kept like a 3-man, like maybe a rotating thing. It's just, Walt's going to be great, okay? He has seen every situation. He remembers back when the NFL, players were working on the side, not just full time. He's been around a long time, okay?
I think he came in the league in '96. I don't know if guys had side gigs back then.
Well, I don't believe you. It felt more like 76 with the way he was calling games in the 2000s, okay? So I just think there had to have, any ex-player, how come there isn't, like ex-players, for instance, should be the ones that they are putting a pipeline into officiating for. There's already an issue with ex-players going potentially broke or post-football insurance situation, like what life is after the league. I don't know why that isn't something. And now, granted, refs are not going to be happy to hear that because there's people that commit their lives to high school officiating and pee-wee officiating to get to college officiating, get to a big conference and get to the NFL. I understand that there is a pipeline, but I don't fully understand why we're not just teaching ex-players that are maybe in their 40s, 30s, guys that maybe love the game or great at the game but can't do anything. Like, let's get them in there, and especially in a position that technology is going to be used. Why wouldn't you want somebody that is much more comfortable with the technology in a position where you're going to have to utilize technology for a large portion of your job? Maybe Walt's driving, no look. Maybe he went from T9 into the full keyboard in a beautiful fashion, and maybe he's a big time gamer and everything like that. But I think that's a big part of the job, and I don't know, man.
I mean, maybe. So, like, let's say the NFL PR team puts out a video of Walt on his Twitch stream tonight playing against Billy Tubes. Does that make you feel better?
Much better.
100%.
Much better. Because there's a lot of other things.
Get on it. They're watching. They should get on it then. Get out in front of this thing. Get people on Walt's side then.
And there's other things that person has to do other than just the reviews.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of other things, and Walt will probably be great at that because he's been.
What does the job entail? Do we know like everything that is in the job description?
So every week there's that position penalty of how do they describe it? What is it? What they're enforcing? The
point of emphasis.
Point of emphasis. There it is. So every week there's the point of emphasis. I think the standard protocols of games. I think they have to. Are they scheduling as well? I'm not 100% sure. What all do they? I'm not 100% sure. If it's just review things, if Walt was brought in just to review things, we're all going to see exactly how he does. I guess.
Yep.
I guess we're all going to see exactly how it does, and we're all probably going to say, "Never would have guessed. Never would have guessed. The 7-year-old guy would have done it." Never would have guessed. But now we got that new Hawkeye technology, AJ Hawkeye. We got that new Hawkeye technology. I think if it's anything like what the XFL had, where they had what seemed to be gamers utilizing it who also knew football, there's probably some Madden players that
exactly
like you could teach them the rules, that they could maybe even zoom in. Have you ever seen these gamers? For instance, we had Faxento in here. All right, his name is Bryce Faxento, right? That's his name?
Yeah. Yep.
He's a coach right now for a Call of Duty team. He was a professional Call of Duty player. Him utilizing the Call of Duty player with his two thumbs, it looked like he was an actual fucking human. He had running, jumping, cutting. He was jumping over people's heads, stabbing them, then zooming in somehow and getting a replay of that and then backing out of it, then throwing their gun, maybe even kicking him while he walks by, and then he was just off and running. I tried to do that thing. It's like a herky-jerky thing. It's just there has to be somebody better to handle the brand new technology than Walt. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I am in favor of challenges and review systems, but it feels like we're going to continue just to fuck this up every single year. And it might be because commissioner doesn't want reviews to happen anymore. So maybe it's like, hey, let's make them so bad and so terrible that people don't want to do it so we can go back old school. Maybe that's the case. I'm not 100% sure. I don't get this at all.
That'd be a great way to speed up the game. But if it's not a player, what about a coach? Like, can a former coach not go in there and at least give out?
They can't work technology. Have you ever seen a coach try to turn a computer on?
No, not even work the technology. Just sit next to him and be like, okay, hey.
That's what I assume. Yeah, like when Pat said former players, I would assume they'd have them as like consultants, like in the room, like, hey, and Walt can say, hey, what do you guys see in here? What do you think? And you bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah, so Perry, I think he was a coach at one point, and now he is in it as well. So coaches are represented in there, refs are represented in there, but players aren't represented in there. And I don't understand how or why that is the case. But I just, for instance, I feel like I'm super positive about refs, by the way. Yeah. I just want them to be treated like everybody else. They are a massive part of the game. I actually think they should have Pro Bowl votes. I think refs should have Pro Bowl votes. They're on the field, they're in the game, but they are such a big part of the game. Like, we have to make sure that they're good. It is. I got a lot of respect. I can never do it, but let's move along. Thanks. That was. Wait, did you like that? You like to do 15 minutes there? I was trying to talk to you about something else, and you said, "Oh."
No, I was trying to move on from it, and you just kept going because I know it triggers.
Sure.
Hey. How are you, by the way? Did you watch these sons of bitches throwing those 16-pound rocks last night? Hey.
Yeah, so somebody all of a sudden gets on the bandwagon, huh? After you just trash them on the air during the day.
Whoa. Did you and Nick?
I see you backpedaling to them.
What? Did you and Nick text each other last night and say, hey, let's have the same take on this thing? Because Nick sent me a text immediately afterwards.
I saw you tweet something. Oh, Cromwell's going down. Oh, he's killing. Bleh, whatever you text.
Krauser. It's Krauser. Krauser.
Instantly, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, of course, because the guys win the gold. Now Pat's on his side.
Listen, Ryan Krauser is a powerhouse. All right? Krauser throws this rock further than anybody in the history of throwing this rock. This rock has been thrown for thousands of fucking years. There's a Texas cowboy who looks like he just got out of a professional wrestling match after throwing these things. He was taking the tape off. Greatest of all time. Most explosive human of all time. I was pumped for him and Kovacs, I believe.
Yeah.
Him and Kovacs, 2 Americans, gold and silver. How you doing? Keep it moving. While I was watching it, though, they're fucking tanks, these dudes.
Oh, yeah.
These dudes are tanks, and they're in the Olympic testing thing, right? What's that, USADA or whatever? They can't be on it. I don't know how these dudes are as explosive as they are without taking anything. They look like they're power lifters, Olympic lifters. They're obviously very explosive. I just don't understand why nobody told Krauser, hey, get in a fucking 3-point stance and go tackle the goddamn quarterback. You know what I mean? I don't know how this guy, Krauser, I think he gets his hands on you, you're fucked. I mean, he's very athletic too. He's spinning around. I'm like, how is this guy not a tackle? Especially in Texas. What happened? I appreciate that he's
got to have great feet. You know, like a lot of times you see a big dude and when someone thinks, oh, that guy could be a starting tackle and he has awful feet and can't walk. You know, this guy has great feet already. So that's one of the biggest things.
Did you see him spinning yesterday? He never gets a penalty either. They say he gets better and better every single throw. And then to keep up with him, all these other... I still do not completely understand why shot blitz a thing. All right, I'm just going to say it. Watching it last night, when Krauser stepped in there, it was electrifying, okay? Yep. And when Kovacs got in there, it was awesome. Looking at these yoked fucking guys and being, how are you doing that without taking any sauce? I mean, there's zero au jus out there.
Do you remember Marion Jones?
Oh, yeah.
Shot putter?
The sprinter, but her husband at the time, ex-husband now, he was a shot putter. He ended up getting busted too. She got busted for a big PED scandal, but then he did later. But he is, you want to talk about a tank, the dude is impressive.
He's listed at 6'7", 320 is Krauser.
Krauser? How is he
and
not?
And I'm looking at his Wikipedia, there is no mention of football anywhere in his life.
So maybe he, and by the way, congrats, Krauser. I mean, greatest of all time. Greatest of all time.
Oh, he comes from a family of throwers.
Yeah, I think his grandpa was in there as well. They talked about it. And I have, greatest of all time, the Krauser family. All right? And Kovacs, I believe, would have broke some record too before Krauser broke 4 or 5 of them himself in consecutive throws. He broke records, I guess. This guy, big old fucking COVID cowboy hat on afterwards. The American flag. He literally looked like a guy getting out of fucking like a fight or a football game afterwards. And he lost his hat on his first one, broke the Olympic record, threw it further than anybody else while a hat's on his face. I mean, it's unbelievable. But I have no idea how nobody had this guy line up with his left foot a little bit further back than his right foot, and then just all we need you to do is just get to a spot and then use the. He's the most explosive person the Olympic sport of being explosive has ever seen. He had to have been able to put those hands on.
Oh, yeah.
Someone should invite him to camp. Like, I think a head coach in the NFL should invite him to camp.
I think Bill did.
Did he really?
Well, no, not really, but I think Bill's, it's in the works. Him and Ernie are thinking about bringing him in.
Hey, there was a time there in the NFL, Colts in particular, where they were no stone left unturned, basically, for an athlete. If we could potentially teach them a couple things, maybe they can be a contributor on our team. It might be a 2 to 3 year process. Like, that was something that was being talked about in our locker room. I don't know about other places. We had I think a shot putter from New Zealand or Australia that came in for a workout, warmed up so long, was dead tired by the time the workout started. And the workout is just like, they're trying to kill you in those workouts. It's just like a conditioning test, basically. So he didn't work out, but can we get Krauser on the line?
The Bengals should call Krauser right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, allegedly Joey Burrow's not as comfortable. He'll get there, though. Everybody's kind of turned their back on Joey Burrow's ability. Don't forget, he is an absolute stud. He will find it. But I enjoyed watching that last night. Also, I mean, our 4x1 team, hey, they said it was going to be a problem going into the race. They said the exchange, passing that baton around for the American team has been a little bit of an Achilles heel, and everybody else seemed to have that thing perfect. But we had a little bad exchange, and we didn't.
Carl Lewis jumped out. Yeah. Didn't Carl Lewis give a hot take about it?
It's good to get Carl's opinion on it.
Oh, Carl is, he's like a...
straight, by the book, old Carl.
Carl is a firestorm, right? Every time he does anything.
What is...
I mean,
I can't even recall.
I know he has one of the worst national anthems of all time.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I remember the name from. It was
he
bad.
won. He
Very
won,
terrible.
He won 9 Olympic gold
Yes,
medals.
he was also.
He was a stud.
Yeah.
So let's not just remember him for his singing, maybe.
Right.
What did he say?
Basically said they were no better than an AAU team.
Well, they weren't.
Jeez, is the AAU team sleeping on cardboard box beds, Carl? That's,
good
we haven't
question.
thought. And also, I read somebody's, somebody put a comment on some Instagram post that basically said the U.S. team got there late, maybe like with only 5 days before they didn't have time to actually settle in.
Oh, they're jet lagged still.
Yeah, that's what the comment came from, and it was from an Olympian. I don't know what Olympian it was, so I don't remember if it was the sprinters or if you go in at different times, but you're all there at the opening ceremony. How does that work out? I'm not 100% sure, but the Olympics have not lost their fastball. Just know that, Ty, after watching last night.
Skateboarding was incredible too. You said you were loving the skateboarding last night.
No, I didn't. I did, flip on Krauser for a little bit, but I am burned out on the Olympics. So
Come on!
We still got the finals in basketball, which again you can't fucking watch it, so it doesn't matter. And then baseball, we do have a gold medal opportunity. So I'm still kind of hanging around, but I'm just about done.
Okay, so last night's coverage of Krauser was also happening at the same time as some running events were, and Krauser was about to go, but the race, like the moment we were just forced to watch a race, in the after moment to see what the times were, they cut away because they thought Krauser was going to be up, and then Krauser wasn't up. Actually, he was just kind of walking around. Then they had to go back to the thing. I think that was the type of thing that potentially people have been judging NBC for in the gold medal game. That will be tough to find. That'll be a tough game to find. But just like we said, whenever we lost to Nigeria and Australia early, hey, the boys are going to figure it out. Yeah. All right? Popovich is going to get them running a little motion weave, little operation. How you doing? Keep it moving. We'll play this game. We're going to win a gold medal. We're back. All right? Kevin Durant and Dame said, our generation's going to win.
Don't you worry.
Everybody's talking about our generation. That ain't going to happen. We're going to win this thing. But we ain't going to be able to watch it. Handball. Have you seen one game on television?
No.
Nope.
No.
Only replays.
How come handball?
I saw the girl from Ohio won the gold in the pole vault though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
From Northeast Ohio. I saw Gonzo tweeted at her to congratulate her.
Oh man. So she'll never.
That's
win
why they
gold
didn't
again.
show it anymore.
So she was celebrating and she was pumped up, and then she looked at her mentions.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden there was a lot of attacks at Gonzo in there probably.
You're with Gonzo.
I bet you Gonzo probably sent a follow-up DM like, hey, sorry about how toxic your celebration became.
I didn't know. I thought they would like you because you won gold,
But apparently I'm still on the receiving end.
Not happy with me.
Good luck, Gonzo.
Love you, Gonzo.
Gonzo's in it, I guess, still. Oh, hey. I waited to talk about this until you got on. I was excited for this. And also Chris Long. We had a great long conversation with him earlier. But did you see Jimmy Graham? Jimmy Graham, I believe, shares the same opinion that a lot of people have, that maybe two people that are on the screen have, that he hates the NFLPA. Jimmy Graham's like, hey, this is a shitty operation, whatever you guys got going on. It seems like you're not really looking out for all the players, just some of the players. A lot of the decisions seem to be a bit selfish. You're making deals that don't make any sense for anybody except for yourselves. And some players have seen the head of this motherfucker at 4 different events in one day at the Super Bowl in 4 different suits that had to have cost a few $1,000s. What the fuck is going on over there? So there are some people that view that way. Jimmy Graham now, with the vaccination protocol situation, puts out a tweet that is basically the NFLPA's memo to either the NFL or to all the players. It is wild what's going on behind the scenes right now. We knew the vaccination protocols were going to be a massive ordeal with how a locker room operates. There are many different ideals, many different views. There are people that are very firm in their stance in a lot of things because guess what? They've had a lot of success being stubborn in their ways and thinking the way they do for whatever reason or however they think the way they do. And once I heard the stats that it was was 27 teams were above 90%, and then 8 teams were above 95% or something like that, and the 85%, whatever the case was. I thought, oh, this is all getting figured out. Jimmy Graham said, nah. I was basically forced into getting the vaccine. Now I'm just confused, and the entire memo says that COVID can only be spread to a couple people, where this Delta variant can go to 9 people. And it's like, well, then what did we learn about COVID-19 that we don't know about Delta plus Lambda, or any other one that is potentially going to join the fraternity party that's happening? This is going to be a situation, AJ. I think it's going to continue to be a situation, especially what's going on in Minnesota with Zimmer saying something, and then Harrison Smith saying something about how Kirk Cousins is going. Cam Newton said it's too personal. There's personal stuff here. There's a lot of big names, and this is going to continue. This is going to continue, AJ.
I mean, yeah, it's only going to get magnified, I feel like. Didn't we talk yesterday on the show, or a couple days ago, about if you're vaccinated, you get tested once a week. Other people, it's more. Now, didn't they already switch that and saying they're doing daily testing now for vaccinated players?
So the NFLPA is asking for it, because the NFLPA has to take the stance of health and safety is priority.
Do you think the vaccinated players want to be tested every day?
Well, no. That's why that is kind of what Jimmy Graham was originally alluding to, I think. He said, I feel like I'm being punished even more now. I did what they told me to do, and now the fines are bigger. Now I'm being forced into doing more things. It's harder this year than it was last year. How is that even a thing whenever we're in a different time? But I don't know enough to know if we are in a different time or not, because there's a lot of...
We're going to have to get Treader back on sometime.
Not just Treader, too. I fear, AJ, the things that are making its way into my timeline should not be doing what it's doing.
No.
Nope.
Mister.
We're going back.
No.
Why do you think I sat here and tried to pump the brakes when you guys, probably for the last 8 months,
and you hate fun. You were traveling around the globe, fucking 15 days a month.
Stand by Carl Lewis.
Hey, AJ, here's your championship belt.
Holds up your pants.
No. Hey, here's your championship belt for being such a fucking hero, AJ. Here, we'll ship it in there, won't we?
Take it.
Yeah, put this in it overnight. He needs this. I wish I could get this to you right now that you're the champion of pandering, pal. I mean,
you want to cancel the game? You want to cancel the game tonight, too, AJ?
Oh, you don't want football to happen? Oh. You want them to wear what? Flags? You don't want them to tackle each other too, AJ?
AJ said, "Fuck the Hall of Fame."
No,
basically. I mean, this guy's been traveling around the country for the last 12 months while we've all been bunkered down.
Well, that's because we got the bunker mentality.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That doesn't. But I think what Jimmy Graham was saying was
that don't.
What do we? That change anything?
This doesn't even mean anything anymore.
The hell did we do then?
It's lost its fastball.
Oh man,
Jimmy just wants to fly.
Well, Jimmy does take the disguise, and I don't know if he smokes dope or not, but he does fly actual planes and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing about Jimmy,
wait, what's the dope part about?
Well, I take the disguise in a different fashion than you do, and Jimmy Graham do. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
you don't when you're not flying the plane, of course.
More like a hot air balloon.
No, I'm in the sky a lot more than you ever are, dude. All right, Captain AJ Hawk, pilot.
I know you are. I'm saying, you were asking, I wonder if he gets all doped up and flies his helicopter and does his aerobatics?
No, I'm just saying there's two different ways. There's two different ways to take the disguise.
To get sky high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys choose you guys choose like I can die, and there's a lot of pressure, and I can get sick doing this, and who knows what's going to happen. I just sit on my couch and take off, basically.
Which one?
All day, every day.
Sure, you fly. Ty goes to space, though. There's that third way you can do it.
Yeah.
Felix Baumgartner. Right outside the atmosphere.
Boom.
Which one does Mitt choose?
Don't worry about it.
Mitt lives in the space station.
He's actually an astronaut.
Yeah, he doesn't choose.
Yeah, some people fly planes, and they can kind of get around. Like some people, a little bit of a prop plane, just kind of at night, and then go to bed, Then there's obviously the smaller planes that you can kind of get on that do have a jet and everything. Like, ooh, okay, we're having a good time. And then you get to the Hawkers, the Falcons, you go up the whole thing, Boeing, and do the commercial, and then they could become a fucking astronaut. And that is just whenever you're just in a completely different planet than everybody else. But you need those astronauts. You know why? Because they're pushing the boundary a little bit.
Right. Yeah, they are.
That's right.
Oh, I did not know your lungs or brain could handle that particular amount of cannabis at one time. Yeah, he's like, I'm taking off, going to Mars. Dude, where's Elon? That's Mitt. And that's we need some of those.
We do.
We need some of those.
Yeah,
I hope he doesn't change.
He will.
He's going to have to, I think.
No, man. if Mitt comes down from space, I don't know if we'll ever see the same Mitt that we do today.
You know, right now he's in Neil Armstrong space.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, so he's in like
There he is.
yeah. See, I think he's
far.
he's going to have to get the Baumgartner.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, at some point, but at least get down to where the billionaires were.
Come
You know
on.
what I mean? At
Right.
least get down to the billionaires, and then we need you to get down to Baumgartner, and then you can live right there because you're close to being passed out and falling out of something
You
anyways.
should see him on Fridays for Hammered Down when everyone else is kind of like, you know, like you're in Florida and Mitt's like, oh, I can do whatever I want. He's basically the rover that's going around Mars.
Just fucking.
Oh yeah. You can't ask him any questions or else his brain will explode and then it's a completely different person again.
All right, let's get back on track with Jimmy Graham, though. He is voicing an opinion I think that a lot of players are probably going to voice at this point. And I
a lot of players that were, don't you think a lot of players that were not huge fans of getting the vaccine, obviously, and then they're like, okay, well, no, I understand the situation, I'm going to get it, and now you're changing the rules and protocols, they're probably thinking like, all right, man, what's next?
I could see somebody being so pissed off that is in the league, walking into a team meeting, having your coach in the NFL tell you, you have to get vaccinated, okay? Like, hey, I'm fucking having it, okay? You need you to get vaccinated. So that's the NFL telling you. Then you go home and you open an email and the NFLPA is like, hey, also, good news, you're getting tested every single fucking day still, 6 a.m. That's what we want because we're looking out for your health and safety. And that player's like, so the NFL is fucking me. And in their eyes, by the way, in their eyes, I'm not saying the NFL is forcing me to do something, and the NFLPA is forcing me now to do something that I did something to not have to do. That is kind of, are these people even speaking for me? Because I'm a part of the association. I'm a part of the union as well. They seem to not be speaking for me. Who are they speaking for? And at Adam Hodge says, Jimmy Graham is vaccinated. He's frustrated with the NFLPA and frustrated that he might still have to get tested every day and fined if he misses one. He's talking right now about the years of miscommunication with the NFLPA. I'm about to go into week 17 playing for free too. Okay, so nice. I don't know what that means exactly. That means he's, I don't know what that
I think he was saying he's going to get fined so much that he's playing for free.
I thought it was because of the extra game.
No, it's just because he didn't get a bump in salary, but you added an extra game. That's what it is.
Oh, it's week
like everybody else.
Oh, yeah, 17th game. Yeah, he was in his thing, he was talking about how there was no real conversation about the 17th game being added. He talked about that, which is a gripe for, it sounds like, remember that vote was only, 51-49 or 50 point something to 50 point something? It's going to become something. I just got to keep an eye on it. I mean, they're going to try to make this thing not be loud, but if you got some big-ass named players that on a Monday after the game are saying, I'm not going in for the 6 a.m. fucking test, all right? And then they fine them. And then that player maybe misses the next day because that player might have a little bit of, hey, fuck you in them, which some players do have. Then they're going to fine them again. Then what's going to happen? A press conference is probably going to happen. Hey, you just got fined, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is not good. And then the NFLPA is, I mean, there's a chance that the vaccination thing could become a full, this is going to become something. Yeah. This is going to become something big now that the NFLPA is potentially pushing against a lot of the players that are pissed off about what the NFL is doing. Oh, no. AJ, it might all happen, huh? It might all go down here.
But with the PA doing it, like everything is going to be, they're going to say this is for health and safety. Of course, we didn't know about this Delta variant and whatever else could come, so they're going to test you every day. So that's how they can, I guess, sit behind whatever decision they make.
Because they have to sit on the side of health and safety. Yeah. So the NFL almost this is once again taking those pills, looking up on the ceiling, seeing the chessboard. Roger Goodell, okay? Roger Goodell says, we'll push the vaccination, all right? We won't have to do anything else. And then also, if the NFLPA stands for anything that they say they do, they'll be the ones that'll say, well, we also need this, this, and this. We don't have to be the people that say that. They'll make the NFLPA do that. And Roger Goodell was tripping on those pills that
Beth
Harmon was on. He saw the whole thing go, and he ran the open Sicilian. And now the NFL vaccination thing is not what the players hate. Now the players are mad about what's happening with their own union. I'm sure the negotiation next time around will be just as clean as they always have been.
Yeah, clean sleep for Goodell. I mean, per usual. And hopefully that does happen where some players saying, fuck you on a Tuesday, because that's great fodder. But can you imagine the victory lap Cole Beasley's taking in Buffalo right now? Are you kidding me? He's probably walking around like, what did I say?
Didn't he put out like a...
Oh, yeah.
A few.
No, he read. Well, and then on the first day of training camp, he read a prepared statement.
Does he have a diss tape as well?
Yeah, he put out a couple of diss tracks on vaccinations, I think. He hit one. Then
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. I didn't believe it either, by the way. This is one of those things that I thought you toxic folks were trying to force me into listening to. And then I listened to it. I'm like, oh, Cole actually, he went to work here on this. He I mean, it's not necessarily a message that everybody's going to love. There's going to be a lot of people that are not happy about this, but he invested in this. And then Mark Cuban, he also got involved in it. And now now we got Zimmer, Kirk Cousins, and Harrison Smith on differing pages for this. Other places, there's entire situations popping off in Washington. I mean, it's just...
Kid Rock chimed in.
Oh, no.
He did. He said if the vaccine was the worst thing I've ever put in my body, I probably would not have got it.
So
you can't argue.
Thank you, Bob.
So he did get it.
So he watched Mark Schler's.
Yeah.
So he's telling people
that neon green relish.
Yeah, he went and got a couple big Franks out.
All beef Franks. So that neon green relish. Mustard, ketchup,
Diet Coke because I put on a few pounds.
Stink, I just don't trust it. I've done my research. Really?
Oh my God!
I have not watched it as thoroughly as you guys.
You have to. You have to.
My favorite movie right now.
Okay, so people, we put out. Hold on. We put out the photo of me on that down on the thing, and I said, "What did they force me to watch? They forced me to do this." I don't like watching people jump off the high dive into shit. I don't, you know what I mean? I've never enjoyed it. It's something where physical injuries now in this entire world, I just get uncomfortable. I think it's called TAC. I'm not 100% sure. I was in a class one time. They said that. I'm not sure if it's right, where you feel like almost uncomfortable for somebody else or something like that. And that was kind of how that whole thing, that's the photo right there. So I'm watching the beginning of it and I'm like, oh, Stink fully committed though. Because he even hit an in case you missed it post.
Oh yeah.
After he had already been into war or whatever with everybody that was going completely against him, which this is that world. There is people that are like that. And there are people that obviously this is going to continue to go for however long this is going to continue to go. But I watched it in there, man. Stink. Hey, he went to work in there.
Yeah.
He jumped into that war. He jumped into that war at least with some well thought out.
He's all in.
Good editing.
I respect him being all in, don't you? He wasn't like, hey, I'll just make something maybe middle of the road, right? No, he said, no, I'm going to edit this. I'm going to play multiple characters. It was impressive.
He was sitting on the toilet at one point. And I did see a lot of his thigh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You think he was really dumping?
Oh yeah.
Probably. It's a good scene. Yeah. He's a method actor.
He poops 5 times a day with that chili
I've
too.
done my research. Oh man.
My buddy Spencer Havner, I played with in Green Bay, always things like that. He's like, oh, it makes my face warm, and it makes sense to me. Watching things that make you feel uncomfortable for the person.
I do a lot of. You did it to me down there in Orlando with the first 5 minutes of us being around each other. With that one video, just
secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, that might be.
Chuck Berry?
But it's not embarrassment always. It's kind of, I guess. Yeah, but it's not embarrassment. It's just uncomfortable.
Can't do it.
Watching Dak get hurt. It's those type of injuries.
Can't do it.
Always. Yeah, I can't watch those either.
But that's a different feeling. That one's a sick to my stomach.
True.
When I'm watching which I don't like watching either. I'm not somebody that enjoys watching the people get fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm not the golf cart running people over run that people had there. Oof. I could not watch it. Oh my God, is that an Achilles they're busting out right there? I feel the pain. There's people in my life that don't, obviously, and they're the ones that force me to watch stuff. And AJ followed suit immediately upon us meeting each other.
I just was shocked. I'm shocked at the sheltered life that you have lived. That's all. I
got my blinders on. Listen, I got my blinders on all day, every day, just trying to whoop, whoop, whoop. How we living? Oh, you're outside of it? Fuck off. All right, see you later. That's kind of just how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, good. Hey, we need everybody. We need all different kinds of opinions and brains out there.
Well, see, now that's an entire conversation in and of itself. And I think That's something that me and Chris Long talked about a little bit. People voicing their opinions about the league that I was very lucky to play in and witness, and you obviously be a legend in, and Chris, Super Bowl champion, Walter Payton Man of the Year one year. Just watching people talk about the sport and how it happens and how it works and the business side and the league has been fascinating. So what I'm saying is, I'm not sure we need all types of opinions out there. I think some that are just not right shouldn't be voiced. But in whose eye is it right or wrong? And then that's an entire another fucking conversation.
Exactly.
And that's why I
Keep going, man.
Well, that's why I keep the blinders
I think
on.
you should keep explore this one. Keep going with it.
Well, that's the issue. Is that this is what I do normally, so then I have to just keep the blinders on. Blinders on. Just get out of it. Don't even start diving in there. But the world right now, there's a lot of that.
There should be a split. I mean, there's the cable media and then there's the internet media. Two completely different things, but under the same umbrella, kind of like that Olympic explanation with the justifications or whatever the hell it's called.
The disciplines.
There it is. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some other stuff going on in the NFL before we have to get to a break. 2 hours straight where we go 40-plus minutes without a break in the hour. Terrible radio. Just want to let everybody know that.
That's football, baby.
Says who?
That's football, baby.
I think it's good. I think you're right. It's not the dumb analytics and how they tell you when you should break and all that to keep people around. But I think people that are invested in the show like they are, they like it. Like, you're not going to just jump out of a conversation because it's time to go to break.
Our stats say average watch time, 41 minutes. I have no idea why, but I appreciate the fuck out of you. And I don't know if you're at the beginning of your 41 minutes or the end of it right now. If you're towards the end of it, I understand you got sick of me talking too much. I apologize. We'll be back tomorrow probably doing the same fucking thing. But serious listeners, we're doing a best of tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
YouTube.
Best of tomorrow. YouTube will be live.
Come on over, Siri.
So tech was an issue. AJ. I guess last week because I have to get on a plane, to head to wherever SmackDown is, which this week's down in Tampa, baby. Down in Tampa. I believe we still have a lease on a house down there, but Antonio Brown is living in it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't stop.
Don't
We
try to, because he will
Is the
throw a
LCD
bag
there?
of dicks at you if you. Try
Okay, he's a different man now. He's come way out of that point of his life. He thinks, don't be a Steelers fan and
past
hold a
history,
little bit of
future results.
No. Previous performance predicts. I think it's something. It's something in there. That's some corporate something there.
Really? You're preparing to fail, Pat.
They have like a.
Yeah, it's some
I just want you
corporate.
prepared if you go to that.
Anyways, he is in our house that we were in down there in the beach house, and he was posting of him in the house while we still had the lease that we weren't allowed to get out of, even though we needed to get out of. So I believe the person that owns that house is getting 2 payments there. So since we paid for it, we said, well, we're going to stop down for at least a day or two this upcoming month. Yeah. We were told we're not allowed to do it. So I'm sure if we had some lawyers, we could get in there, but AB's going to love that house. It is a beautiful house. I'm pumped for him. He posted on the internet of him working out in our pool.
Mm-hmm. It looks
much cleaner
than whenever we
were down there.
Interesting.
New chemicals.
We see what's going on.
But I think we should look at this as a positive. Super Bowl champion, touchdown catcher, Antonio Brown. Whole lot of money. Whole lot of money. Man who has, at this point, high standards on things. Mm-hmm. Same house as us.
I forgot my nail clippers in there.
He's found them, probably. I left, did we leave a TV in there, too? That was taped to the goddamn...
I came back.
Yeah, we
got that.
We got that place.
You do have a nail
Everything.
Hey, my bathroom had no. I wonder, Antonio Brown. I wonder if he put on curtains or whatever. My bathroom had no curtains.
Oh, yeah.
And we got in late the first time we were there. Flipped on the lights. Go to the bathroom. I'm just looking out. There's an entire town basically right there. Oh my God! All right, so had to hang towels up on that thing. Probably wasn't nice for the neighborhood, but I enjoyed it. Good luck to Antonio Brown with that house. Let's talk a little bit here about Urban Meyer announcing winners and losers during drills and special teams to everybody. How do you feel about it? This is changing the culture down there. Accountability. Let's go ahead and celebrate the wins and also allow people to understand who lost here. Although film might say something different happened. Later.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not able to tell who's the winner and who's the loser in some drills, but what are your thoughts on this public announcement of success out of
I think it's all right. I think it keeps everybody definitely dialed in on their toes all practice. Like if you have 8 gassers after practice, the whole practice, it could be 2.5 hours long. It doesn't matter. It's in the back of your mind. You're always like, all right, well, yeah, sure, I just got done with inside run, 10 straight reps, but I know we're running gassers at the very end. I feel like with this looming at all times where Urban can just stop practice and do one-on-ones, and then they announce it, who winners or losers, like it keeps everybody on their toes. So I don't know how they can – are they going to make a rule that they can't do this because they banned doing – like Oklahoma drill? Is it like this a way around it?
I think I think I saw a punt or a kick protection drill where it was somebody running out. It was like a one-on-one blocking drill, like a lane drill. I think
Tebow was doing that.
Yeah, if I read it right. And by the way, that is a very difficult drill to get around professional athletes. So the blocker should, because of the constraints on the space that you have, the blocker should win. But there's a lot of times in film you watch, and it's like, oh, you held the shit out of that person right there. And it's actually like in the game, there would be actually no return, 10-yard penalty from where the ball was spotted and everything like that. That was my biggest thing. It was like, they got to be very sure of themselves to just be announcing winners on the field there, because that's it's probably a pretty chaotic situation. But I like these boosting the atmosphere, a celebration happening. There's going to be some players that hate it. Obviously, there's going to be some players that like it, just like Joe Judge. There's going to be players that say, I ain't for the shits here. Like, I ain't doing this. And there's going to be some people that buy all the way in. That's kind of like every single team.
There's going to be plenty of players that don't like it, but you're going to want to win. You don't want to be announced as a loser, especially multiple times over and over. What if you just get known as the guy that keeps getting beat in these one-on-ones?
And every media reporter and fan that has a phone with internet on it, which is everybody. AJ Hawk just lost his 3rd straight one-on-one, and the announcement.
And it could be the thing where we go into the film and we realize, like, no, the dude was holding me the whole time. And you get in film like, hey, my bad, AJ. Actually, you're 3-0, not 0-3. Oh, cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll tell all the media people and all the fans. But it's just to lighten the atmosphere, I assume, can bring that competitive edge. We're going to live on the edge that Urban's trying to institute down there. Maybe it'll work. Who knows? Maybe Joe Judge will work. Maybe it won't. Maybe Zimmer and Kirk Cousins will throw hands at each other. Who knows? Yes. We're back in 4 minutes with more Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, August 5th. They just They try to kick each other. They jumped right in the way of the propellers of a boat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Gold medal. I've been training my whole life for this. There isn't another one of these for how many years? 3 more years? I'll go. Did you see Simone spin on the beam? And a couple ta-ta-ta-ta-tas? Oh, we're going to win it all. The guy that won from China, his shoulders were full boulders. He was the only one that looked like, oh, there's a fucking jacked Olympic weightlifter right there. But as those swimmers are sitting on that thing like this or whatever, if they train their entire lives to make that moment, and then as it's waiting, they just accidentally, boom, fucking out, disqualified. Yeah. The commentators in all the sports, I think, okay, we're good.
Oh, yeah.
Not great. You gotta explain to me what the fuck's going on. This is the World Games, dude. I watch judo, okay? Ooh. I watched the Abe family, sister and brother out of Japan, win back-to-back judo championships. I have no idea how anybody scores in judo. All right, it was 0-0 and it went into a golden score situation. Oh. And somehow she got a point, she won, she pinned her, the whole celebration thing happened, it was great. Then her brother comes out and he's going against somebody and he's just fucking throwing him. I don't know how they're getting points. I have no clue what's going on. He wins, didn't smile one time. Ooh. He won, it was just like, yep, this is what I fucking do. But handball is always one that we watch, the world watches and goes, how is this not massive in America? It's high intensity, it's high scoring. There's incredible athletic plays, both offensively and defensively. There's big time, acrobatic jumps and shit. It's a great game. Oh, you're telling me that if Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers,
Josh Allen,
Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, you're telling me if the greatest athlete throwers that we have in the NFL were to put a team together, they would win the Olympics at handball? Never would have fucking guessed that.
I will say this about the golf tournament. Watch out for the South Koreans. They dropped out of the Open, the British Open, because if they win the golf tournament or medal in the golf tournament, they don't have to do military service for the next 2 years.
So I'm betting on them.
Yeah, it's a pretty big prize.
What is that?
Are you kidding me?
What is that? Has the rest of the golf world heard about this and maybe looked out for their friends?
That's what I was thinking. Hey, let's let them get a medal.
Hey, if it's a gimme, go ahead and just do a little rim job.
I mean, they're good guys. You like them? They're nice on
Patty
the tour.
Reed ain't.
Patty Reed, go to war, pal.
Hey, sorry, bub.
How come our 3-on-3 team is not the professor, hot sauce, and maybe
Skip to Malou?
But a lot of people are blaming Popovich, and now there's rumors that Popovich is actually trying to put in, hey, this is how we got to win in international, allegedly. Now, who knows what I know? I don't know anything. It did look like they were running good fundamental basketball offense, though, on the other teams that I've watched. Let's not ask, like, how or why any of these sports are sports. Okay, let's just watch them and enjoy them. We're watching people who have dedicated their entire lives to a workout, to an event, an activity, 5 a.m. wake-ups, 4 a.m. wake-ups, ice tubs, hot tubs, hours, blisters, blood, sweat, tears, dedication, commitment, missing of events, for these things that we don't fully understand or see how or why they would do it. And I just want us to appreciate the people that have done it and their great. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, August 5th. Today's sponsor is Public.com, an investing app where you can buy stocks, follow investors, and share ideas. I joined Public, and you can see my portfolio if you search for @Pat McAfee in the app. Here's why Public is the best place to invest. You can follow other users' portfolios, including myself, Shaq, Tony Hawk. And thousands more. The app is free, and you can start with as little as $1. You can buy slices or portions of a stock versus full shares. They don't sell your data or information to third parties or market makers like those other stupid investment scumbags. You get a free slice of stock when you go to public.com/Pat McAfee to download the Public app. Get started today, and make sure to follow me on there and see who I think is an alien running a company who's probably going to always yodely, 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 yodely in the end. It's not investment advice. I'm just telling you what you could do is follow me as I follow aliens, hopefully to the promised land in the stock market. This is not investment advice, valid for U.S. residents 18 plus, subject to account approval. See public.com/disclosures. This is, once again, not investment advice.
Okay.
Once again, make sure you go to public.com/Pat McAfee to get a free stock slice. And let's go ahead and make some money down here with our friends at Public with our big brains. Welcome back to the show. Only have a couple minutes left here before hour one wraps up. There's a lot of interesting things going on. Let's run the bases real quick around the NFC North. Let's go to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Aaron Rodgers just threw a ball 55 yards into a bucket that is the size, I think, of a basketball hoop. Yeah. It was unbelievable. It was something that from the angle that they shot it at on their social media, it looks like he's throwing it 95 yards in this whole entire thing. Takes a good pass set, slings it up into the air, and the equipment manager right next door says, "Are you kidding me?" The people of Green Bay lose their mind, as did the internet. This is another incredible throw seen by Aaron Rodgers on the internet. The last one was at Lake Tahoe, where he threw it 175 yards to a drunk man who dropped it on a pontoon boat. AJ, Aaron's playing great football. Is this offseason gone the same way as last offseason with his training and everything like that? Or is he just kind of dialed in?
I mean, it seems like he's dialed in mentally, physically. I've seen him do that a bunch of times. It's so tough to make that throw. You're right. It's basically the size of maybe a little bigger than a basketball hoop. It was great to see. You mentioned the manager, Tim Odie, was the guy there who's always there catching it. He knows what to lay off, like this one's going in. Also, once it came out of the net, Odie fires that thing back, too. Odie's got a gun on him and wears gloves. Did you see it?
I think is that a knee brace he has down around his ankle? Give the knee a break?
Yeah, he's had a lot of injuries over the years there. He's been there a while.
Well, Odie, he's been a Packer for 30 years at this point. Yeah. He's been there, done that, seen everything. It's like the equipment managers for the Indianapolis Colts when they bounce around training camp. Our guy Frog has caught passes from Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Matt Hasselbeck, Charlie Whitehurst. At this point, Carson Wentz. Like they're at the combine too. So anybody that's ever been to the combine, there's been the backbone of the teams are around for so much longer than the players are, but they're good folks out there. Aaron's balling though. Have you talked to him? Is he happy to be at training camp? He said he was all into James Jones. Does that seem to be the case? Any updates over there?
I don't have any updates for you, no.
Jeez,
but
this guy.
From
come on.
I saw him
all the video and photos that show you, you might want to be scared of the Packers this year. Aaron seems to be smiling a lot, having a lot of fun, and then as you see in this clip, seems to be pretty accurate too.
I saw him and Ben Kurt and Jordan Love having a good conversation, a couple laughs in the middle of practice. He's been dancing around laughing.
He's talking to Goody. There's a picture of he and Goody talking to
Says
practice.
they're working on the relationship.
Wow.
Huh.
Aaron said that.
Aaron's a bigger man than I am.
Mm-hmm. They should have gotten a fake fight out there. They knew people were watching. They should have gotten a fake fight and started rolling on the ground.
Bro, give us a Joe Judge one time.
Yes, please.
Come on, dude.
That'd be awesome.
Just throw hands.
Or if Aaron
What if they
would
lock
actually
up? What if they?
Oh,
you're talking
smack
him
the
in
taste
mouth?
out of his mouth, yeah.
All right, listen. We'll lock up. All right, headlock. All right, we'll fight. All right, you throw me off. I come back. I'll slap you right in the fucking mouth. What if that's?
It's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be hard. Hey, no sell it though. All right, make it tough. I'm gonna smack you. Hey, just no sell it.
Smack you hard.
And then we'll kind of see what happens there. There'll probably be a little bit of a scrum, and it'll wrap up, and then we'll go our separate ways. Then we'll do a press conference after. We did it.
Gotcha.
That whole thing. That'd be a blast. That would be awesome. I don't know how far away they are from that. You got to have a lot of trust in each other to do that. Because what if Aaron comes off the ropes after the headlock after Guti throws him, and he actually crow hops right hook?
Yeah, breaks his nose. Yeah.
I thought it was hurt. I thought we were.
that was the plan.
Mr. Q.
Hour 3 on the other side, AJ. We're going to go to the 5-hour energy phone lines. What are you expecting to hear from somebody on the phone?
Oh man, some unbelievable questions. Hopefully they're out there and they're itching and waiting, and Mitt is just dialing them up.
1-833-4-McAfee. You can get on the 5-hour energy phone line. Hour 3's in 6 minutes. We'll see you then. How are ya? I'm Roman, a men's health brand that can dance very well and make you the best you possible. Are you suffering from male pattern baldness? We got something for that. Herpes. See ya. Premature ejaculation? Gone. No more coming too quick. Allergies as well. And that's not all. We have clinically tested supplements for everything, including erectile dysfunction. Come on. Bye-bye. GetRoman.com/Pat. Be the best you possible. He walks all the way up. Oh! Sleep! Sleep! This is not the one that I saw.
Oh, good.
Oh, my God. Can we go back to the beginning, please? Listen, go back to the beginning. This guy, pause. That guy was sitting one section over in this blue polo shirt wearing son of a bitch who's here with his friend, by the way, right here. They're just having a good old day at the ballpark. Old buddy in the glasses back here. Oh, this has been fun. Look at this guy up here with the wife is maybe the wife and the guy up there. They're kind of intrigued to see what's going on. Padres guy said, hey, listen, I've been locked in my fucking house for 13 months. I'm going to come to a ball game, and you're going to say dumb shit? I don't think so, pal. He walks over, 45 yards, casually, eyes ready to go, not fists ready to go, though. Just outside, no, calm. What you got a fucking problem, pal? People smiling down here. They know something's about to happen. We got a camera out. We would like to see the alternate angle from this particular person. But what a moment here. We beat COVID. We are back. Old buddy here needs to watch out for right hooks. Bow! Buckled. What, bitch? He said, what? And then he gets tackled by everybody else, backpedals. Everybody watches this happen. What a Jeez. What? He says. What, dude? What? What? Damn. Oh, my. What was said by who? Hey, as we get back into society, let's remember, people will punch you in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I was on a team that was very bad at football. We almost were completely defeated until Dan Orlovsky showed up and got 2 big wins. We ended up almost losing the luck pick because Dan Orlovsky Everybody thinks they're going to get fired. Every player thinks they're going to get cut. Every coach thinks they're going to get fired. They try to pawn blame off on other positional groups. If it's the linebackers, they're like, we did our job. D-line can't do anything, can't stop it. There's a lot of that chatter, but it's a miserable existence. I mean, it's just the way it is. That's why you have to have so much respect for a player like Joe Thomas, who played a perennial all-pro career in a situation that was so negative and so terrible. I think if Joe Thomas got a chance and his knees let him experience a winning organization, I couldn't even fathom what Joe Thomas would have thought. I mean, life is just much better whenever you win. When you win, food tastes better. Drinks taste better. Sex feels better. Everything is better when you win. Winning cures all, they say. That's not just in the building and for a football team. That's in your life. Everything is just better when you win. And when you lose, especially when you're talking about some of the most competitive humans on earth, it is a nightmare. You got a lot of people trying to jump off the ship. You got a lot of people trying to figure it out. And whenever you're in a situation like that, it's just a full-blown nightmare for everybody. You got to think, when you get to the NFL, let's assume that the humans that make it to the NFL have had a lot of success through their lives. High school football, probably one good player, a guy who's going to make the NFL can lead a team to success. In college, if you have a couple good players that can make the NFL and make it to the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins stink, you're still going to make it to the NFL. Let's assume that team has had success. So then you get to a completely unsuccessful operation, a completely defeated operation, and then it's like, man, this is a whole new life for us. I'll never forget, I had a coach, special teams coach. I won't say his name because this is a terrible thing to say as a coach. We lost the game. It was back in the first regime. We were a good team. We lost the game, and everybody was moping. Like people were not happy that we lost the game the next day. He was, you guys just haven't lost enough. That's what he said. Everybody looked at him and was like, yeah, no crap. What are you talking about, dude? Yeah, this is the winningest decade in NFL history here. Yeah, you haven't lost enough. It's like, you've lost too much, maybe. Are you just comfortable at this point? And that's whenever it can get a little scary. Whenever people are just comfortable just getting their asses kicked every week, that could be a problem. That's when the culture is probably a lost cause. That's when the locker room's too worried about playing dice or playing Boo-Ray or anything else like that. When that starts happening after losses, then you know you're in a bad spot. And I would assume that's not happening at the Dolphins, especially under Ryan Fitzpatrick's watch. But maybe it is. I don't know. But that is a miserable existence. I am not a fan of that.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, Hour 3 on this Thursday, August 5th, with a college football champion and a Super Bowl champion. AJ Hawk begins, right? Now, AJ, did we learn anything during the break that needs to be talked about here to lead off Hour 3?
Absolutely not. I don't know if this is a leading question or what, but no, I did not learn anything.
Okay, we did. We did learn something. So earlier in the show, when Gumpy, our footy handicapping aficionado, our soccer diehard fan, came in here, and there was a little bit of a ripple of a news that once we were told that Leo Messi was going back to Barcelona, it was a done deal, and the rest of the league was going to pay for it. We were actually lied to because today it was leaked earlier that Leo Messi's situation has gotten super messy.
Oh, no.
Somehow, some way.
What?
Now, Barcelona has confirmed Messi, who has been a member of the Barcelona soccer club since he was 13 years old, 21 years at this place. Fucking gone.
Wow.
See you later.
What? No way.
Yeah, it was made official Old Messi will not continue at Barcelona. After just a couple weeks ago, we were told that he was going to be at Barcelona. He was only becoming a free agent to re-sign with Barcelona. And here we are, best player on earth alongside Cristiano Ronaldo, is potentially coming to the MLS. And this is something that we need not, underestimate the impact this will have on the soccer world. As we win the CONCACAF Cup, and the Gold Cup, and then we're going to win the World Cup, and the Europe's Cup, and the Copa Cup, and the Australian Cup, and the
Champions,
the Super League Cup. When we win all this, it's going to be tough for the rest of the world to continue to talk down upon us about not understanding the beautiful game. Messi's coming to the MLS. Is that what was confirmed today whenever it said he's leaving Barcelona? Our soccer expert at
Stop saying the city.
Anything is a possibility at this point after he left Barcelona.
Fabrizio Romano has updated his tweet about Messi situation with an emoji, red alarm like a hockey goal was scored. Hashtag Messi official statement. Despite having reached an agreement between Barca and Leo Messi and with the clear intention of both parties to sign a new contract today, it would not be possible to formalize due to economic and structural obstacles. Parenthesi, Spanish La Liga regulations. Oh my God, the entire league is kicking Leo Messi out of Spain. This is unbelievable. We will not do that in the United States whenever he's a part of the MLS, but they had an agreement in principle, it sounds like, and then day of, it was no longer the same as it once was, like it was Pawn Stars, Leo's at. What's that mean for Barcelona? What's that mean for the soccer community as a whole? Will Barcelona have to fold completely now that they lose the best player that they've ever had? Is this an Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay Packers like Leo Messi and Barcelona situation? Is that what's going on right now over there, Gumpy? Please enlighten us how the best player on earth is no longer going to be at the organization he has been with since he was 13 years old for 21 straight years.
Barcelona debt is approaching $1 billion.
Whoa.
That's why the Super League was being created, to get them and Real Madrid out of debt. They can't pay. Messi doesn't want to stay. Messi, Ronaldo, gone. La Liga now is a farmers league. It stinks.
Oh,
wow.
Messi,
How do you get in that much debt?
Messi is going to go to PSG.
Really? With Mbappe?
They got the most money. Him and Neymar loved playing together at Barcelona. It makes too much sense. Unless, and I hope this doesn't happen, Man City, his old coach, Guardiola from Barcelona, that could happen as well.
So Leo's not going from Barcelona to the Portland Timbers?
What?
Stop it.
What about playing?
What? Yeah. Soccer talk? Hey, this is big deal in the sports world.
Come on.
Thursday, August 5th, AJ.
How long have you been pronouncing it? I assume that's the proper pronunciation, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Unless you want to be an asshole.
I've been doing it for years now, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm cultured.
You usually just don't. You normally don't use it 14 times per sentence, though.
What?
Well, we don't normally talk about Barcelona.
Listen, people normally.
James can't even do the list.
What are you talking about? He's the one who taught me it's Barcelona.
I've been to Barcelona.
I've been to Barcelona too, by the way. That church.
Beautiful city.
Barcelona is beautiful. Oh my God! Have you ever been there, AJ?
Did you go to a Barcelona game?
Have you ever been to Barcelona?
I didn't get to go to a Barcelona game, but I did get to see the church right in the middle of downtown down there. They've been in construction for like 200, 300 years. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Barcelona?
I have no. I've never been there, but I did. I do know a group of guys that watched a guy get married in a place where George Washington was.
Okay, so that is cool. I would like to say that is cool because we are the group of guys that did that, and Ty is the guy that got married.
George Washington.
Yeah, depending upon what part of America you're in the language that is spoken there. But in Spain, it's Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona.
That's what we're trying to say.
Forever and always.
Is there any chance he's coming to Miami? Beckham's new team.
Oh,
Leo
Is Jeets an owner of that team?
I don't know. Kansas City. Pat Mahomes has a stake in the Kansas City team, right?
He does.
Yep.
KC's very similar to Barcelona.
Hey, and Leo with that dog that he has that he juggles over in his backyard, the barbecue that dog could eat in Kansas City.
Think about that. Come on, Leo.
Come on over.
Forget Barcelona.
Forget Barcelona. Forget all the Euros. Forget them all. Come on over. to the MLS, the best league in town.
Come on home, Leo.
How much would the MLS have to pay him per year?
So Beckham was getting what, like $1 million a day there for like 4 years or something like that?
Yeah.
It was every second he was making a certain amount of money. I remember when his first deal was signed out of Manchester United over to the LA Galaxy or whatever. And the entire MLS, I think they leveraged all of their cash, like what you were going to say about La Liga for Messi. They all chipped in for that because he was going to, he was the biggest star on earth at the time, not just in soccer, but in life, I think, as well. And he came over, and I'll tell you what, I did watch some Galaxy games. Hey, when he was taking a free kick, I was like, hey, let me watch this guy bend it like himself.
Yeah. How did he play, honestly? Like, did he dominate?
Yes. Early he did very, very well. He was scoring from midfield. Everything that he was get brought over for, he was a big leg. He was a great free kick taker, incredibly attractive. He played an electrifying style of soccer. And when he was on the ball, normally it was a goal-scoring opportunity. So he was like the guy, and people did watch. It was big for the MLS. Ibrahimovic, I would say, is the
exact same.
Had a similar effect. And now our league will never, ever, ever be, the MLS will never, ever, ever be able to sniff the NFL.
No.
Okay? And I don't think that should be held against the MLS at all, by the way, because I want
no other sport in America can.
Well, and just wait until Roger Goodell does his little, hey, you guys are going to learn about football at a young age here, and you're going to become fans of our sport instead of your sport.
Yep.
That's going to start happening, I think, as the years continue to go. I'm not saying soccer will ever lose its world love, but I think American football is going to continue to grow. And I think that, like, the NFL sees that after signing a $110 billion deal already, they see, oh, there's an entire hemisphere we haven't even really tapped into yet. I assume that'll continue to go. So maybe the NFL will be in a situation over there, and they are currently in that over there with their champions, Premier League, and everything like that in our viewership. But the MLS will always be that over here. But we get a couple stars over here. I mean, Thierry Henry came over and scored a bunch of goals. How come Ruud Van Nistelrooy never came over to the MLS?
It's kind of rude of him.
What's that all about?
Kind of before his time, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? MLS was still kind of like before.
Watch out.
Before Beckham, pre-Beckham, MLS days.
Yeah, Ruud Van Nistelrooy could have been the Beckham, by the way. All he does is just hang out and score goals all the time.
Ruud was afraid of Lexi Lawless.
Yeah, well, Lexi Lawless did play a very physical style of soccer, man. He was not scared to throw his weight around back there. You know what I mean?
Back in the day, they have the greatest penalty kicks. It was from half field.
Yeah, you had a breakaway.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, I think, first ever game for the MLS was on primetime television. They came out for the coin toss. I think Tony Miola said, you want to flip for it, and did a backflip.
Oh, Tony.
Tony fucking Miola. I think so.
That's awesome.
If I do recall.
How are we not the Premier League in the world if that shit's going on?
I mean, I will say I scored on Tony Miola as like a 7 or 8 year old. So that might have been
okay. That makes more sense.
At the Cons hot dog soccer camp.
Uh-huh.
I got a free T-shirt too.
Great photo.
Four scoring on him.
Good photo. We have seen the photo.
Yeah.
I think everybody got a T-shirt.
Okay.
I think I still have a pair of shorts that was signed by a bunch of people at that thing.
Jay, you were at this thing too?
I think so, or maybe you were, and I just have it for some reason. I have a pair of shorts that have a bunch of autographs on them.
Maybe we're in two different groups.
Is it framed on your wall?
Might have been. No, it is not. It's in a box in my garage.
Jay,
dude.
Jay,
Tony.
If we have Tony Miola signed Umbro shorts, dude, we need those things stat, okay?
Yeah. I'll see if I can find them again.
Oh, could you imagine a new studio with Tony Miola Umbro shorts?
Yeah. MLS Hall of Fame is going to be calling for those things, too.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely.
Just some white Umbros.
No, I think they were black.
Yellow, like gold yellow.
Oh.
Sweet. Autographs are in black.
No, I don't remember the shorts at all. But I do remember Umbro shorts with the white Umbro, the most basic thing. They had the little split on the side.
Of course.
The Copa Mundial shoes. I mean, those were the soccer days back in the day before the MLS was the premier league in the world.
That's right.
If we get Leo Messi, how come somebody can't make a run? Can we not just sell a couple teams and just get Leo Messi over here?
I think he'll do 2 years at PSG, and then probably when he was going to sign with Man City, because they're connected to...
There's zero chance of anybody in the MLS signing Leo Messi.
Right now, but when he was going to sign with Man City, there was a deal connected with New York City FC. He'd do 2 years at Man City and then go to New York City 2 years after that because they're together.
So the subject of him coming to the MLS has already been broached before we just automatically assumed it was going to happen?
Yeah.
I think in 2 years, him and Cristiano come together.
Same team?
Go to Miami.
Give them a team. Let them just start their own team.
They have enough money
by far.
Yeah, but and then just get a loan out or whatever. They can be Jackie Moon.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's made $1 billion on the field.
Get the funk out of my face.
Get the funk out of my face.
Get the funk
out of my face. Get the funk out of my face.
If you don't like my music, you don't have to use it. Funkin' is a family. What if that's Leo Messi next year? Jackie Moon in the MLS.
Why wouldn't he?
Who says no?
Who says no? Not us.
Who says no?
Hey, do stars have to flop? Like, does Messi have to flop?
Okay. See, now you're taking a shot at all of soccer. And Messi,
No. I'm saying I equate it to like football when the defense has been on the field for 12 plays and a D lineman, someone's like, hey, man, go down. And the coach wants you to go down. And, hamstring cramp or something. And everyone gets a rest. That's what I assume it is.
I think Matt Hasselbeck called it something when we were doing Thursday Night Football. Crab? Or I forget what the name of it was. It was the first time I had heard it. In the football world, do you guys just have a standard name for, hey, you need to fake like you're getting a cramp right now?
Each team, each D coordinator usually has like a term that they'll and usually designate somebody to go down.
I've seen it practiced before, by the way, I think.
You've seen it in practice?
No, not in practice. I've seen somebody practice what they were going to do if it had to happen in the locker room.
We practiced it.
Yeah, in the locker room. And I think that is how it was decided on who would do it, actually. This guy, fucking get him an Academy Award. He makes it really smooth. He doesn't even look like it's fake almost. It's unbelievable. I mean, people are going to be suspicious when it happens, but I think he's our best seller. I think that guy's our absolute best seller. And then there's, I got it. And they, the full, there's been a couple. I mean, there is.
You just can't get up and sprint up to the sideline once you finally get up.
Yeah, that happens in soccer, I feel like, a lot, right? That's like kind of your sports thing.
Yeah, it does happen from time to time.
Does Messi do that or no?
No, Messi usually gets hacked pretty bad because he's fucking deking around everybody.
Is he quiet? Yeah?
Yeah.
Talk shit? No?
Doesn't feel like it. But, like, he just won that Copa. Like, that was the last thing he needed to do. So maybe he's like, fuck it, I'm done here.
I'm done at MLS.
Hell yeah.
Go anywhere.
Here we go. How old is he?
34.
34, yeah. He's been there since he was 13.
That's young. That seems very young.
I'm 34 years old. I'll tell you what. I was playing a lot of soccer growing up. Imagine if I accidentally just fucking ran into the Messi under 16 tournament or something like that. Oh, that guy's much better than all of us here. This is a good time. That happened to Freddie Adu showed up at one tournament my age.
Yeah, he punk you?
Yeah, well, also.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had a guy named Mitch Minard from Upper St. Clair. He was a big kid. It was, because at those ages when you're growing, everybody's different sizes. Everybody's coming through different things, and there's potential growth spurts that move people. We had a kid named Mitch, I think his name was. He was a big kid for our age. But when Freddie Adu came to town and we had to play against him, we put Mitch on Freddie Adu, and it was like that was an adult fight between those two. I mean, they were battling it out. But he was talking shit while shooting against us. And it was like, God damn, this guy is much better than everybody here. People are saying that he wasn't necessarily our age. I don't know the whole thing, but yeah, that Messi and accidentally running it. He's always been the best. 13 years old. He started with Barcelona.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable forever.
When did he go to the adult team? Was he like one of those teenagers?
He was like 16 or 17, yeah.
16 years old, dude, playing pros. Even go to school over there, or they just do the soccer?
So in soccer, they do academies. So you play for the team as an academy, and you do your schooling at Barcelona as well.
Yeah, I'd heard about that. We got a chance to see the Manchester United youth team. It was in a tournament we played in, and talked to a couple of them over there. And they talk about their schedule. Like they wake up, we do conditioning, we do soccer, then we do class, then we do lunch, then we do soccer. I think is kind of how it went.
That's why they dominate. That's why golfers dominate that grow up in that system too in other countries.
Yeah, Lil John, though, I think this, John Daly's kid, and I don't know, I think everybody knows this, there's schools that are just like specialized, I think it's IMG. Yep. IMG does it. IMG Academy down in Florida kind of has that going on with all the sports where you just go in there and it's all ball or all whatever all day, and then class, like, hey, let's get you a GED, basically, but we're here to make money in the sports world. I didn't get paid to do the class. Boom. I'm getting paid to do the football. Fascinating. Also in Europe, I learned this from Cesaro, because I told Cesaro that I didn't need to know anything about the Olympics. I know everything, And
where is he from?
Switzerland. And he also, I think he does all of the exercises that are in the Olympics. And he watches the show, I think, every once in a while, or sees some clips of us talking about the Olympics. And he actually told me that we have to talk about the Olympics. He basically pulled me aside. He's like, hey, we have to. It felt like Cesaro was like, you sound like an idiot when you're speaking about the Olympics. As he was delivering that to me, and by the way, me and Cesaro, I think, have a pretty good relationship. I'm a big fan of Cesaro. He is a very nice dude. He is very cool. So as he said that to me, I kind of sensed the tone, even though different part of the world, English is not his first language. I sensed the tone. He was talking shit, so I let him know, I don't fucking need to know anything from you. All right? So I started out a little bit of a thing. We got into that whole thing. The way, and he was explaining to me all the things, and I was very thankful for all the information, and he did. So, sports are not at your school. So you go to school and then you go join clubs. So when you're in school, you do like shot putting in class. And if you like it, they tell you where the local club is. And then they do these other workouts and these other things and these other speed walking or whatever the hell it is. And it's not associated with that. So you have to go to a club. He said these clubs have like elementary school age people in for some things, or junior high or high school. And all the way up to like 40-year-olds that are still playing whatever sport it is. Like there's club like soccer teams for like seniors, I think it's called, at some age. They have the stadium, they have lights, they play at night, and it's just like something they go to practice one thing, and they've potentially been in that club their entire life, and it's just like it's much different.
Is that their job? Like if you're 40 doing that, is that your profession?
No, it's like a hobby of theirs. Like they just kind of like there's always a men's league, and your club will still play against the clubs that you played against whenever you were a kid, and it's like
cool.
Yeah, it is. I agree. I was like, because I'm trying to find pickup games of shit. It's impossible to do. You join these clubs, it's like, yeah, we got stadiums, we got refs, we got leagues, we got everything. I'm like, you got to pay, obviously, but that's like a very cool thing for sport, I think, going forward.
That's what Bjorn was talking about in Germany. When he was playing football in Germany, he would go to school, and then like the only way to play football is you'd have to join a club with like all the kids from your county or whatever it was.
And I said, awesome, by the way. I wish we picked up some clubs. It'd be nice to go play some soccer in the senior league.
I'd love to.
Imagine if we had a game like 7:30 tonight.
Electric.
Oh my God.
Juiced up for it,
That'd
too.
be so much fun. I asked Cesaro, I was like, can I just move into your town and join your club? He was like, yeah. I was like,
all right.
Sounds good.
I might do that for a year.
Guess we're going to Switzerland.
I don't know how old I'm going to be and I can stay in shape, but man, it would be cool to join a club and be in the. I want to be on the ping pong team. I don't know if they got that.
Yeah.
I'd like to be on the soccer team as well. I think they have a full like lobby. It's like an entire thing.
Pick up like pickleball or something like that,
Let's do a full year just competing against an entire Switzerland country.
Start an Oculus League, I'm sure, in one of those clubs.
Oh, yeah. And I'm definitely doing shot put, by the way. I'm pretty explosive.
Uh-huh.
Do they have shot put clubs?
For sure. They do now.
Because me and Krauser are moving in. Hey, he's unbelievable, AJ. Have you ever done the shot put?
No, I never did. I ran track in first grade, and I just did the running events.
And I would like to let Kovacs know, like, hey, probably unbelievable as well. This is just like Muhammad, who's right behind Sidney McLaughlin. They both would have beat the world record, but only one will get remembered for it because it happened in the same race. They just so happen to be from the same state. Hey, Ty,
yeah, I told you. I
Still
saw
got
that. Yeah, I told you. I saw that one. That was great. I mean, I need more of that. Less of the, I can't find the goddamn events.
All right, listen. All right, that's NBC, not the athletes. Let's remember that.
That's fair.
We got to get to a break, but we have to make an announcement.
Ooh.
Okay.
We are announcing a winner. You remember that Bird Dogs contest, AJ?
Oh, of course I do.
We were supposed to announce it yesterday, but ran out of time on a serious show to do so.
Yeah.
So I said I'm going to do this tomorrow because might be a serious listener that's winning this.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big winner of the giveaway from 2 weeks ago. 5 free pairs of Bird Dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, winning enough Bird Dogs to get you through your entire week to do zero laundry, no underwear, live your life in your best fashion, shorts that work in the corporate setting, in the weight room, in the house, on the show, on the dock, in the pool, in a lake. You get it everywhere. The winner is Joe Wiener from Ohio.
Wow, Joey!
AJ's burner?
JoeWehner. Joe Wiener from Ohio. Bird Dogs will be sending you an email. Quick reminder, Bird Dogs are the greatest shorts ever worn. Perfect for the beach, golf, literally doing anything. You can dress them up, you can dress them down. They're so comfortable. You can now pre-order Bird Dogs' newest product, joggers, with built-in underwear on their site. These are going to go fast. They probably are, by the way, to this office, if I had to guess. Zito's probably ordered like 5 pairs already.
Right now.
Diggs is going to get on there quick. And I might get into a joggers winner this fall.
Really?
Fall winner. I might.
I love the joggers.
My joggers are awesome. I've never really been able to get into them because the calves just, you know what I mean? It becomes like.
Of course.
Restricted.
You know what I mean, AJ?
A little tight.
Yeah, it doesn't match with your Chris D'Elia tank top.
I don't even.
That cut, how it's cut at the bottom. He would always talk about like, "Oh, this is sweet." That's what I do.
I mean,
What is wrong? What are you doing?
You're a real sawed-off prick, aren't you?
Come on.
Scumbag.
How dare you?
Sawed off prick.
Hey,
That's good.
Hey,
you
how
are
about Jack
unbelievable.
Grealish? Jack Grealish going to Man City. Can you believe that?
That's Jackie Big Calves.
All right, can you go to birddogs.com and use promo code PatsBall? Boom, you get a free Bird Dogs whistle tip football along with your pair of Bird Dogs. The footballs are running out, so get them while you can. They are a must-have for your life. That's birddogs.com, promo code PatsBall to win one of those. And congrats to Joe Wiener, all right? Check out the shorts, the pants, and now the Bird Dogs joggers. You will not take these things off. You have an incredible talent. I want to. It's not good. All right, it's not great what you have, but it is unbelievable the way you operate. I want to let you know that, and I'm happy to know.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You know,
How dare you?
The way
I see things that I'm sorry. I have good recall on certain things. Some things just trigger my mind.
It's incredible the certain things that you do have great recall on.
Yeah.
We got to get to a break. We will hit the 5-hour energy phone lines on the other side. That's how we're going to wrap up this third hour. Congrats to Leo Messi and the MLS getting the best player on earth.
Yes!
This is awesome.
Go Reds!
There's some Kirk Cousins stuff we're going to have to talk about as well. There is a lot going on in Minnesota, and I'm not talking about in football or in Lake Minnetonka. I'm talking about.
I watched one of their beat reporters or writers do like a 2-minute overview on what Kirk said in his presser. Like standing in wherever they're practicing. It was, it's going to be, I don't know. Kirk is in for a battle. He is dug in, huh?
Yeah, well, I think it is going to be uncomfortable to speak about because just like I talked about earlier with Stink, anytime somebody just goes ahead and knows what they're diving into, I get uncomfortable. But hey, more power, everybody out there, do whatever the fuck you want to do, but let's make sure we can live life as well. 225 here, 226 now. We'll see you at 2:30. This is the Pat McAfee Show here on Sirius XM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio. I think I've realized this year with the conversations, you do seem to be a rather normal human, which is very interesting, right? I assume for a lot of people to hear. AJ said, no, you are not a normal human. But because all the stories about you before this year, to be honest, a lot of people, the way they believed is you were the smug king almost is what the thing about it. And then getting a chance to chat with you, it's like, well, that's not the case at all. How is that like something you have to focus on? I assume it gets hard whenever you're hanging out with, Scott Stapp is hanging Aaron Rodgers jerseys up in his goddamn office. That has to be pretty weird.
Well, look, I think that's an interesting thing to talk about. I think a lot of times, people have said things about me, and it's been the same few people, and that's been kind of the prevailing story or thing that's reflected on. I think for me, I talk a lot about the work I did on myself. It was nice, and it wasn't intentional. Like, I didn't sign the show to have, and you guys know, we've talked about this off air, but there wasn't some agenda doing this. It was fucking talk to Pat and AJ every week. Yeah, it sounds pretty awesome.
It has been, by the way.
It sounds amazing. But what it's allowed me to do is, I think, silence all the douchebags out there who were, talking for me and making themselves more relevant by using my name or, running with stories that were not really based in any type of fact. And look, I've grown as a person. I've said things and done things that I wish I'd handled a little better. But this was a great, natural, authentic, whatever, whether it was 15 minutes at the stadium or 45 minutes, to just bullshit and have a conversation. If you're a friend of mine, if you know me, I think this is about as normal as interaction you're going to see from me. It's not a lot of BS. You're not going to hear cliches and garbage. I'm going to, shoot from the hip mostly. Tell you as much as I feel comfortable telling. I feel like I've been as honest as I could be. I've told you guys a lot of fun stuff. It's fun for me because then I don't have to maybe rehash it on a Wednesday, or people get to see a different side of you that maybe they didn't even know was there or didn't think was there. And it's been fun for me. I really have. I've appreciated every single week we've done these. And like I said, the best part is there was no agenda. There was no plan. I mean, even us, like, we didn't know we were going to go like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour. Like, we just started fucking talking, right? And then this came out, and it's been a lot of fun.
Assume Raj had to walk in there and do a full, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
The whole
curtsy.
Hey, we're bringing a big sports stooge thing over here. Is that okay? Yep, deal. Perfect. Let's get some tea. Let's get the fuck out of here. How do you think that went between Raj and Clean? You think she liked them?
Yeah. I bet she liked him. She probably knows a lot. Like, what if she's sitting there and then all of a sudden she's like, so what about the Deshaun Watson situation? What about the Deshaun Watson situation? What about the Deshaun Watson situation? Huh? that was spot on accent.
Hit that one out of the park.
Like, what if she's really dialed in to the NFL?
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Quick correction. His name was not Adam Hodge.
Okay.
It wasn't.
It was Adam Hoagie.
Even better.
Really?
Yeah. He has to understand that I've seen that name spelled that way, and it's pronounced Hodge. And there is other pronunciations in this room, but Adam Hoagie was the man that gave us the information earlier. We have to talk about what's going on with Kirk Cousins, because I think Kirk Cousins isn't going to be the only one that we're going to have to talk about when it comes to this particular conversation piece, which is old Uncle COVID and all the protocols that are coming with the fraternity of COVID coming into town. Delta Plus, Lambda, Beta, I believe, also in there. Alpha. I believe
Charlie,
Tau, Tango. No, that's a different language. That's a different phonetic language or whatever it is. That's the pilot stuff. We're talking about Greeks, whatever the case. Kirk Cousins had a press conference today, and this comes after a little bit of a interesting situation with Mike Zimmer yesterday saying that Kirk Cousins doesn't believe in protocols. Then Harrison Smith comes in afterwards and says Kirk Cousins is abiding by all the protocols or something like that. This comes after a 4-day miss of Kirk Cousins because of a close contact that is happening for the unvaccinated players. The quarterback for the team was not able to be at training camp because of the protocols that have been put into place for vaccinated and non-vaccinated players. And the close contact and the testing was allegedly going to be much different for the vaccinated players than the unvaccinated or non-vaccinated players. But now the NFLPA is saying, no, everybody's getting tested the exact same. This is a big deal. Kirk Cousins spoke about it today to basically defend himself. Kevin Seifert is in Minnesota. He says Kirk Cousins said today he is at peace with his vaccination decision and pledged to be vigilant with protocols for unvaccinated players. No sign he is reconsidering, despite, there we go, thank you, missing 4 practices as a high-risk close contact. Cousins said the issue with his exposure to Kellen Mond was that the QB room was too small, actually. I am checking with the NFL to see if that could be the case. Vikings quarterbacks have changed meeting rooms, and Cousins thinks that has eliminated that particular risk. Cousins said he has thought about surrounding himself with plexiglass in the quarterback room. He was asked why he would go to such lengths when a vaccine would be far more effective and efficient. He said the decision is personal and private. That's the same exact answer that Cam Newton gave. I wonder if there is a group text message or email that is currently happening with some of the players in the league with their opinions on this thing. This is going to continue to go, especially with the media. Every question now from the media, maybe that isn't just a football, maybe even just the football reporters. Every journalist is just going to ask about this because this is what the entire world is speaking about now. It is coming all the way full circle back into the NFL with both sides being pissed off. And that's the world right now. It's insane. It's an insane time to be alive, AJ. We just got to power through, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I have no idea what it looks like for the rest of the season. I mean, it's going to continue, and people feel super strong on all sides. Like, I don't know. For Kirk, like, hey, that dude is fighting an uphill battle, no question about it. But, man, he is dug in, I guess. And let's see. Like, can he go the whole season, you think, and not get vaccinated?
He said, I was thinking about building my own penalty box.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I'll put plexiglass up. I asked him hey, can I get some fucking plexiglass? They told me it was all down there in that wintergreen shit. They couldn't get it to me. I couldn't build the plexiglass because they couldn't get the logistics right on the back end to give me that thing. I was willing to do that. Why do you want to do all that? That's private. I am personal. All right, I'm at peace with my decision. If he's going to do this, 140 tests. Now that might be similar for the vaccinated players as well. If what the NFLPA is pushing, the NFL accepts, and the NFL seems like they might accept that, even though it's probably very pricey to test everybody. So will the NFL do it, even though the NFLPA wants it? Who knows? But what about week 10, week 8 even, week 9, week 10, just like 6 a.m. tests. If you miss it, it's a $50,000 fine. Close contact, just in case you have to run tests. I mean, they're going to make it impossible not to. But it sounds like Kirk Cousins and probably others, by the way, are all the way like, nah, I ain't fucking leaving.
Probably, definitely. I mean, there's definitely others. We know that. We just don't know who it is. Like other people, I guess. Why is Kirk, I guess, why did they continue to ask him about it? Because he was out and then because he would let it be known that he wasn't going to get vaccinated?
If I die, I die. That's what Kirk Cousins said last year whenever this whole thing came about. Yeah. Then he got COVID, missed practice. The head coach is pissed off. Yeah. So now it's going to be a thing regardless, and there's a lot of reasons there. Kirk's going to have to fight that, I think, every single media scrum he has. What were you going to say, Diggs?
I was going to say, yeah, that die, and then him missing, however much practice to start the season doesn't help.
Hey, it'd be great if we had all our fucking players Zimmer thinking.
Zimmer may be the most frustrated person on the planet right now. Yep. Like Mike Zimmer isn't known to be like a super over the top, Rick Rosey guy. He is a football dude who loves football and is respected by people in football. But man, like when he says he's just frustrated with everybody, can you imagine that? Like, hopefully this year doesn't dealing with all of this. He might just walk away after the season like, all right, man, I never planned on for coaching through anything like this.
This is like, the veteran players who were being told they're going to have to run a couple hundreds and do push-ups as well. And they're, fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm not doing it. Zimmer, like, man, there is 4 political wars happening at all times in our locker room right now. There is. Zimmer, old school guy. I assume a lot of people are going to feel that way too about it. But the great teams will be able to get through it somehow, some way. We'll be able to find out. And that's why I think I was asked on College Game Day. I think they said, should there be an asterisk next to whoever wins the national championship this year because it's a different year, there's no crowds, blah, 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 that whole thing. And I said, I think it is. The asterisk should read, if it can explain everything that the teams had to go through to play games and what everybody had to do and where the world was at the time, I think everybody will agree that the asterisk actually will say this might have been the hardest national championship to go get. And that is something that we are getting a chance to see how entire buildings operate, how efficient they are, because everybody is laid out with this same exact set of shitty circumstances. And now we have to see how everybody can deal with it. Everything's rosy. It's easy to potentially get by and put some maybe Band-Aids on some things. But whenever it's tough and there's adversity, you find really what organization, what team is really the best. So I think it's going to be tough to navigate these situations, especially when there's one quarterback that is like, yeah, completely cool with it. That's not really what I take a stand for, who's good. And then there's potentially others. And obviously Kirk is potentially one of those, even though the answer is private and personal. That's a massive swing of who's good and who's not in football if the quarterback's on the same page as the rest of the team. It's an insane thing to think about the competitive advantage it is or disadvantage having to deal with that bullshit. But everybody's in the same boat, I guess, and you just got to get lucky with who has what.
Yeah, I mean, any head coach, like, all they care about is football, and they're dealing with so much non-football conversations every single day. I bet it's driving a lot of them crazy, which we're seeing some in their press conferences that they let it be known how frustrated they are with what's been going on.
AJ, I know we've been having a great conversation here, but whenever I went out during the break there, I saw a couple of the other sports shows doing something. We got to do a little bit more of this. The Packers are the greatest threat to the Bucs this year in the NFC.
Oh, shit.
You don't agree?
Whoa. Which way am I looking at you? Is this? Yeah.
Huh?
I'm not doing it. Okay, sure.
Oh, you're just saying a year ago, Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
The Dallas Cowboys were now they got Dak back. They got
I've
Zeke
not
back.
made my pick yet. I have thought about it a little bit. I have not made my Super Bowl prediction.
Oh, so you don't think that the Packers are the biggest threat to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC? Is that what you're saying? You say you haven't figured it out. You haven't found out yet. Did you see Aaron Rodgers throw the ball 55 yards into a goddamn bucket today? He's all the way back. The team's all the way in. Bunker mentality. Trent Dilfer said it. You're saying Dallas Cowboys, or you say you don't know yet?
Well, I mean, you can call me biased or a homer or whatever, but I think it's common knowledge that the Packers are the biggest threat to the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Wow, that is a valid
with a healthy,
that's not how the
happy
game
Aaron
works.
Rodgers.
He's not allowed
Yeah.
to say that.
Yeah, that's not sports TV, dude.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry. All right, next time I'll play my.
Say the Rams. Say the Rams.
Say the Rams.
Carolina Panthers are going to surprise some people.
All right, funny you say that. Funny you say that because the Carolina Panthers have allegedly expressed interest in Deshaun Watson, as have the Philadelphia Eagles, allegedly, depending upon whose sources are saying what right. We heard Ian Rappaport say that even though there is a litany of things going on off the field that are much more serious and real life for Deshaun Watson, the trade conversations on the football field have still been happening. He said teams are still interested. We said, who? And then the Carolina Panthers allegedly came out and said, we will still be interested, although we're keeping an eye on the off-the-field situation. Obviously, everybody should be, including the NFL, and I don't understand how that whole thing's going on. And then there was mixed reports. Philadelphia Eagles are interested. They're not interested. Is Jalen Hurts quarterback? Is Flacco slinging that thing? What do they got going on in Philadelphia? We don't know. We don't know, AJ. That is something that's very fascinating.
I mean, I forgot about Flacco. I think a lot of people did, didn't they?
Not Flacco, though.
No
Hey,
way.
Footsteps?
He can play, man. Like, people like to hate on him now. Flacco can put it together.
Hey, he's got swag, too. He was on a podcast one time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was a very cool appearance.
It was. He crushed it. Kind of just dropped in, and it was like, oh, shit, yeah. Super Bowl winning quarterback right there.
Yeah, we saw it. $100 million. And at this point, he just wants to play football again. He was thrown in there the Jets operation.
They had some footage of him from Eagles camp earlier, and he was, per usual, still fucking spinning it in practice. He looked good. He looked pretty good.
Hey, when he was coming out of Delaware, he threw that thing 70, 75, 80 yards.
Oh, yeah.
And that was before the days of the lasers being hooked up to your elbow so you can find out if it's perfectly in tune with your hip to really maximize velocity. He's probably only gotten stronger and better. I think that one night in Denver, he threw, 95 yards?
At least.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep.
Safeties couldn't judge it.
Yeah.
Quarterback on the Indianapolis Colts who said he can throw the ball 100 yards in the air.
I saw that.
Wow.
I mean, if he says he can throw 100, don't you think he could at least throw 90?
He's not saying that for no reason. He knows there's cameras everywhere, and he is at a football camp where there will be footballs and fields on a regular basis with teammates who will say, bet. That is something we are going to see. I've seen wide receivers, guys that are freak athletes, go 80, 85 yards, with a run up, a crow hop and everything. And it's like, holy shit. You've seen Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen throw the ball or whatever. And you've seen guys with one knee at the 50. Who is that? Jamarcus Russell throwing it through the upper. There's incredible arm strength around the world, not just in the NFL starting quarterbacks, but there's a lot of quarterbacks, ex-quarterbacks that have incredible arm talent and can throw the ball far. 100 yards, saying that out loud. Is this the strongest arm in the history? And he's fourth string for the Colts? Let's get a javelin in this fucking guy's hands. Let's get a javelin in this guy's hands.
Do you know if there's any legit, real footage out there of somebody throwing a football 100 yards without, a jet engine behind him pushing the ball?
Yeah, Mike Vick threw the original tipped football out of that stadium at one time.
I thought Odell was close that one time.
At UCLA.
When he took the sprint and run up and throw. At least 90.
By the way, Odell Beckham Jr., I saw him kick a 50-yard field goal with a spinning ball at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Tebow can. I think Tebow can throw 100. I think I've seen videos of him.
Have we taken a break yet?
Yeah. I've seen Tebow throwing, a 5-yard
that was going to be the time.
duck.
There is no way that we can. I mean, that we have to get off the air with this Tebow slander. What is that all about?
How is that slander? I said I'm pretty sure I have seen footage of him throwing the ball 100 yards.
No, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
You're batting 1,000 today. Let's go to the 5-hour energy phone
He was
lines.
2-2 on his one-on-ones yesterday.
Did they announce that, or did film tell us that?
Whoever wrote about it said that, so who knows? But that's what they announced, I guess, that he was 2-2. So it's probably 4-0, and Urban's chief of staff, who was grading the battle, probably just didn't want to look like he was a homer towards Tebow.
So is that who it is, the chief of staff? Do we know who's making the announcement? I thought it was potentially Urban Meyer himself going, "Oh, Tebow wins again."
I bet the chief of staff probably sits right by Urban, but he announced it over the loudspeaker. Urban probably tells him, "All right, that's Timmy."
I mean, judging who wins a rep in some of those things, is a very difficult thing to do. This is just like, okay, happy we got to this point, actually. Who did I talk to from Pittsburgh Steelers Twitter last night?
Alex Kozora, I believe his name.
Alex Kozora. He does great work in Pittsburgh. I think Diggs said he has a lot of respect for him. I just learned of him yesterday. He was keeping tally of Presley Harvin and Jordan Berry's punts at Steelers camp with their hang times and everything like that. And I wanted to thank him for his coverage of that, because that is a real punter competition happening right now. That is a real thing happening in camp that I do care about, because I like both guys. I like both guys a lot. Presley is an absolute bomber, could change the game. Jordan Berry has one of the biggest legs I've ever seen live, but he can't get consistent. So then I started looking at, he was given hang times and average hang times and everything like that. And I was like, okay, like doing a stopwatch is not fucking easy. I'm not good at it. Like, I don't even trust myself enough.
Yeah, do you trust, that's what I was saying. Do you trust his watch?
Well, a lot of people told me, including Diggs, like, hey, this is a good guy or whatever, but I don't even think I have a good stopwatch, because a 1/10 of a second is the difference between like all pro and potentially not in the league on a regular, like that is and are you hitting it? Are you guessing when the ball's hitting the foot, or are your eyes potentially a little bit slower than when actual contact is? Maybe a 1/10 of a second, which could completely change everything. I mean, it is a very aggressive thing to go out there and say, hey, in the kicking world, for somebody that is in the kicking world, for somebody to go out and say like, oh, I had an average on my clock. It's like, did you watch the film? Did you go back and see that? Or is this just your one-time take and then the next rep happens? Because that is massive information you're doing. This guy, he was committed to it. He said he was good. I have a lot of respect for it, but that's a very, I stink at it. I can't even do it. I got better once I moved to the pointer finger a little bit.
Sure.
You know, I moved a little bit better to the pointer finger.
Because you got like the pulse in your thumb. That's why you got to use the pointer.
Yeah, he was using a thumb. By the way,
Can't use a thumb.
Every
That's
good
like,
stopwatcher I've ever seen is a pointer finger user. So I don't even know if he knew how big of a conversation piece that is potentially.
Some of this is probably being done on an iPhone too, I would imagine, when they're timing things. Like, I'm not saying he does it, but other people around the league.
Which is like, I don't even have enough trust in me to pronounce other people's hang times. You know what I mean? Like, I'm normally pretty good. I can eyeball perk. You know what I mean? I can normally give a pretty good guesstimation within like a 2/10 normally. I don't know. I haven't been around.
What's a good hang time? Honestly, I don't even know what a good hang time is in the NFL.
So then there's an entire another conversation. Okay,
Never mind. Didn't mean to ask that.
Yeah. So like, is Presley trying to hang it, or is this a potential a little bit more of an angle? Like, there's so much that goes on there. I'm happy to hear. All we should be looking for though is who was more consistent, who wasn't more consistent, who was less consistent. And if his thumb is always the same, I guess we can say like, okay, on this particular watch, this is it. So it is a good piece of information. I am not sure. I've never been around him on the stopwatch. I'm not 100% sure if he is the greatest, but these are things you should be thinking about whenever you're watching a punter, whenever you're in training camp, is like, who's just more consistent? That is the only thing that matters.
Yeah, I follow him because he's the most detailed Twitter account to follow, watching all these practices all the time. And like you said, I have no idea how skilled he is with the stopwatch, but if he's doing it for both punters,
same.
Yeah, don't look at the times, maybe just see what the times are. You know what I'm saying?
Well, kind
of what you just said.
Yeah, you can see who's having bigger
Compare
balls.
them. Yes.
Yeah, you know who's having bigger balls, but like, he put out there that he averaged 4.48 or something like that, which isn't a bad ball. But if that's a 4.58, that is a much different day than a 4.4. You know what I mean? Like, there is just, especially whenever you're watching like these swim events and everything like that, how things are just like so close. For hang times, especially whenever you're talking about like 10 to 15 of them, there's a lot of movement in a very small amount of time. So I have a lot of faith and respect for that person doing all that. But when I saw the numbers, I'm like, okay, is this accurate or not? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but it is the same, I guess. So,
were there yardages on it, or was he just doing the times?
So yardages too, like, who cares? Because what if it's pooches?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just...
There's different punting situations that they're going to go through in practice. Yeah.
Bingo. And maybe Presley doesn't hit as high as a ball as Jordan, even though the things are saying he doesn't, but he might hit a consistent ball 9 times out of 10 to a spot that he wants to hit. I mean, there's so much into it, I think. So like,
hopefully he is timing their get off as well, because that's a big part of it.
Big deal. And he actually told me, hey, going against a rush on pads with some fans in the stands tomorrow. So that's when it really matters. And he's 100% right. 100% right. So I got faith and trust in the guy, but I wonder if like Jordan or Presley are like, this fucking guy is screwing me out of 0.2 of a second. And other punters are looking at this thinking I'm hitting only 4.4s. I'm hitting 4.6, 4.7. What's this guy?
Is that the kind of thing though, like where if you're in the know, like,
all you guys kind of know what's going on. And if you see something like that, like you probably see a lot of numbers get thrown out there that, you have this same kind of reaction to, right? Like if you're looking at it and it's just like, okay, well, this guy,
But let's say some blogger, though, who is very invested in the team or football or whatever, he will take that piece of information from somebody who, by the way, I don't know. I have to reiterate this. I like this guy. I like what he's doing. I appreciate what he's doing. I don't know how his stopwatch is. But then that becomes a baseline for somebody who read that tweet on what normally happens. And it's like, is this the proper baseline? I'm not 100% sure if this guy even knows what the fuck he's doing. He's using his thumb. Not saying it can't be right, but that's just, through my experience, I've seen a lot of good finger pointer in there. And you got to anticipate the hit and the length. I mean, there is a lot into it. Let's move along. Let's get to the 5-hour energy phone line, shall we?
Yeah.
Presley's probably going to win that job if I had to guess.
Seems as if he had another good day today as well.
He's a bomber.
Find out tonight.
Hey, Jordan Berry, one of the biggest punts I've ever seen in my entire life. I seen it right there in practice or in warm-ups. Holy shit. And Danny Smith goes, if it had to happen every time, it'd be great. Let's go to Josh in Albany. What's going on, Josh, on the 5-hour energy phone line? Go to 5hourenergy.com. Use promo code McAfee to receive 10% off your order. What's going on, Josh?
Hey, what's going on? Happy Hall of Fame Thursday, boys. How we living?
Hey, big-time football tonight. Happy Hall of Fame Thursday to you, too, sir. What do you want to talk about?
I got two takes. Which would you like, Walt Anderson or Aaron Rodgers?
Walt.
Yeah.
Walt? I'm going to say I work in IT, and when you roll out a new system, the first thing you do is give it to the oldest person in the building. Okay. They're going to break it in ways you can't even imagine.
Okay, so this is like, this is like a test. Like, okay, what can go wrong with our new thing? Let's do that. Okay, Josh, thank you for that. I didn't even think about that. You're in the business. Thanks for calling in and allowing us a little peek into your brain and your world. What's the second one about Aaron Rodgers now?
So I have a theory on why we saw him come back to training camp with a big smile on his face, and it's not good news. Jeopardy just announced that they're in advanced negotiations with Mike Richards to be the full-time host for the permanent gig.
Okay.
I think that probably played a factor.
Okay, great call there. Obviously, the Walt Anderson stuff we've talked about ad nauseum today. We'll have to see how it goes tonight in his first rollout with brand new technology as one of the oldest people. The Jeopardy news, though, I think this is how I read this. Because this guy was the executive producer of the show for the last 3 years, I think, whenever Trebek was the host.
Right.
He came in whenever they couldn't find a celebrity due to COVID protocols and hosted the show. He was very, very, very good. He was clean. He kept it moving. He was just composed. It was good hosting. You know what I mean? Aaron also said he and Mike Richards got along very, very well because he was the guy in his ear and helping him out. Mike Richards is doing this until Aaron retires.
Perfect. That's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, I think at any point, if they get the opportunity to get Aaron to do the full-time gig, like, they're going to do it probably.
Congrats to this guy, by the way, going from behind the camera to hosting and doing it very smooth. And he's part of the Jeopardy family, and I assume all the hosts enjoyed him. And there was probably a conversation around a couple tables just going, hey, fuck it, why don't you do it?
Yeah.
Hey, you were pretty good, man, weren't you?
Man for the job.
There literally is nothing that you haven't seen at this point.
Yeah.
You know everything that could happen. You know the flow, how it's supposed to be. The show was good with Trebek and you at the helm. Go in there. And then when Aaron retires after going to maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers or something like that.
Go back.
Let's not start that already. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
Let's enjoy the season, and then we can maybe.
Could you imagine he goes to Pittsburgh, by the way?
I've imagined it.
Have you really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think he and Tom would be a nice little duo.
Oh, Tomlin talking shit for Aaron, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, my. Pittsburgh, by the way, with Aaron coming in there. Come on in, pal.
We'll set him his towel right here.
Yeah. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Ty's got the best arm movement.
Well, Ty's watched it a lot because he is actual Brett Michaels fan, right?
Yeah, big time Brett Michaels fan.
You guys have fucked that up so bad. I almost can't remember the original cadence.
Well, I think we just did it.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
That was it. We just did it. Let's go to the.
Similar to the John Bond chant.
Hey.
Oh, nothing.
I'm from the town with the great football team. Go on and get them Steelers. They would love Aaron Rodgers over there. Holy shit. But I think this is a season where Aaron and Gutekunst become friends and the entire thing goes on in harmony forever. Ain't that right?
That'd be great.
AJ, there was a picture of him and Guti talking. You said what happened in that conversation? Did he do a caption that? Did they caption that? And what would your caption be?
I mean, it was during practice, so I'm sure they're probably talking. Yeah, who knows what they were talking about, honestly. I wonder, did Guti go up to him? Did Aaron find Guti? How did it work?
That's a great question. I don't know. We're going to have to learn a little bit more behind the image. Let's go to Mike in Connecticut on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Mike, what's going on, dude?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going, Mike? Nice to hear you're high as a fucking kite today. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, dude. So exactly, but college football, the SEC's been just gobbling up teams. What should the Big Ten do? And my thoughts: Notre Dame and West Virginia, bring them into the Big Ten.
Okay, so he wants Notre Dame and West Virginia in the Big Ten. What is going to happen? Is there just going to be SEC and Big Ten football when it's all said and done here in a couple of years, when everything just kind of dissipates? What are you hearing over there in Ohio?
I'm not hearing much, but I like that. I like Notre Dame and West Virginia Big Ten. That seems to make sense to me.
Well, the Big Ten would love that NBC deal every single Saturday night that Notre Dame has, I would assume. West Virginia's going to bring a little, we're going to bring a little savage to Big Ten. I don't know if you guys can handle that. You're hoity-toity. We're taking a year off stuff.
Get out of time.
Yeah, you
that
guys
was
are,
one guy.
No, it was the entire committee.
No, what? You remember Kirk's dogs? Yeah, hey, guess what? We'll play in a goddamn parking lot tomorrow with COVID all over everything. We don't give a fuck. All right? We wanted to go from the get-go. They wouldn't let us. Kirk's boys are ready.
I do remember Ryan Day getting out there and saying, hey, we won't play football. We don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about.
Yeah.
They just made an announcement. But it was a lot of those other schools, though, that are also a part of the Big Ten. I'm not sure that they're going to be pumped about West Virginia getting in there. We're going to bring it. Oh, no. I forgot. We're no longer that West Virginia anymore. We're Harvard of West Virginia.
Harvard, sure. She might fit right in.
Yeah. ACC also super academia, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's why Gordon Gee turned that whole thing around and said, hey, listen, somebody has to attend a class here at some point.
He was at Ohio State.
That's a good message from the president. Hey, somebody's going to have to go to school. All right? I feel like I'm doing more damage to West Virginia right now.
No. It's Harvard now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they turned it around. My day was much different, but we're still a supportive and loyal bunch out there. West Virginia, Big Ten, or the ACC would be a dream come true. AJ, 6 minutes till Chris Mad Dog Russo. Anything for the people?
I know Russo loves Thursdays. They're usually his best show, so keep listening. Come on, right back to Russo. Nailed it, didn't I? Don't be coming to me with 5 seconds. I can see in your little brain do it every time.
Come on back.
I can see it in your little brain. It is. It's right there. And I can see it up there. You nailed it. Hey, I don't know how
that last caller was in good shape.
Mike was real high, dude. He had a good thought there.
Yeah, he's probably up with Mitt in that space station.
Yeah, he might. Maybe he's a Baumgartner and maybe the billionaires. I'm not 100% sure where he is, but he might be Rover out there like Mitt on a Friday. But the point stands, though. What is going to happen? I mean, nobody really cares. NFL football's tonight. Boom.
Yeah.
That's going to look very different.
It's be like 3 big conferences, right? Probably be Pac-12 or the Pac-20, and then the Big Ten, and then I guess, and then SEC, ACC. It'll be 4 of them.
You
right?
think Big 12 is going to sell big and pick up the pack? You don't think it's going to be the Big 20?
24.
It's also
does it matter?
It's a big Pac 24.
That'd be
Does it matter though? Like, who cares?
That would be a sweet. Just call them the Big Pack.
Boom.
That'd be sweet.
Good in my books.
I mean, it's also 5 years away. It could be literally anything at this point.
Yeah, because with NIL too, who knows who's going to be going where. Let's transition here to Jason Garrett being fed up with everybody's shit. Did you see this?
Call me coach.
Yeah, this comes after Deion Sanders walked out of a Zoom press conference wherever. You don't call Nick Saban Nick? Okay, call me coach. And then the guy goes, okay, Deion. And they go, all right, well, fuck off. I absolutely love that, by the way. You know, I mean, in that moment, you know, probably just you're at somebody's press conference. It's not yours. Right, so just probably do the thing. This is just like whenever, you know, some media members at some press conference think that it's actually like for them or whatever, you know, and that has happened in the past. Not everybody I don't want to broad brush paint. Okay, I'm not saying this, but there has been these types of situations in the past. Deion walks off. Jason Garrett, do he and Deion have a relationship, you think, with that Cowboys history? I'd assume.
I am sure Deion was around plenty of times. I know Deion had a giant house somewhere in Texas. I don't know if it was close to where the Cowboys are.
I think it was in Dallas area, if I remember him fishing out of the back of that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he had an absolute monster. Also, there were some Reds highlights of him. He went 3 for 3 in one night with a dong shot. I mean,
stole a couple bases.
He was gliding.
Oh, yeah.
Gliding around. What an absolute stud. He can do, by the way, whatever the hell he wants to do in the sports world. If he says, call me coach, I think we should be like, all right, he's fucking earned whatever the hell he wants at this point. But Jason Garrett said, you know how you talk to your little nerd friends that do surgeries on you and stuff? You call them doc, all right? In this particular world, when I got this whistle and I got the clipboard, I'm fucking coach over here, all right? And let's not mess around here, media people. He said, they called him, Jason, you call me coach around here. Joe Judge's hard edge is wearing off on Jason Garrett. We're not clapping and smiling anymore.
Oh, hell no.
Hey, you call me coach. You get the fuck out of here. All right, and that's what I like about Jason Garrett. He's coming around. He's going to be back in the head coaching seat soon, I assume.
Yeah, he's taking a stand. I like that. But the question is, do they call Joe Judge coach or do they call him Joe?
I think they call him the judge, jury, and executioner.
Boom.
Listen, if he's a coach, you call him coach.
Yeah, that's just classic. You say coach. Like, for instance.
But don't you think, Pat?
Yeah.
Diggs' his dad.
Yeah.
His coach.
Yeah. It's who's calling him that, though. I am sure there are a lot of players that call him Jason. Okay, Jason, what do I do on this one? What do I do?
That's shocking, actually.
But he has a tight relationship with those guys, so coaches usually don't care what you call them.
Hey, don't bro me till you know me, dude. All right?
Okay. Yeah, no, that's how we do it. The players aren't calling
Pat Leonard didn't
coach,
like this.
coach, or Jason.
Pat Leonard said Jason Garrett just told us to call him coach as he walked off the podium. He said, good to see you guys. We said, good to see you in person, Jason. We said, good to see you, coach. That's how we do it. Oh, yeah, Pat Leonard said? Let me go ahead and try my luck. This is Jim Rome and Chris. Chris. I bet I do.
It's a long segment.
You think the beat writers are starting to turn towards the Jets and making them kind of the city or the football team for New York and kind of putting down the Giants?
I appreciate you doing that strictly because Bob Saleh did answer this whole thing about what and how Joe Judge handled the team yesterday. And it was a pretty good quote, and it was a direct shot at the New York Giants operation. How does Robert Saleh feel about disciplining players with laps or push-ups? He's not a big fan. For me, it's more about creating accountability with self rather than forcing accountability. These players are grown men. He's not the only one, by the way, that has said a very similar thing about the Joe Judge situation, but Bob Saleh is not one of the players, so in everybody else's eyes, especially if you're a Giants fan, this shouldn't matter. But I like that Bob Saleh is just like, hey, this ain't what this is about. Similar media companies probably covering both sides, by the way, here. Brand new guys trying to earn their keep in the town.
I love it. I think this is great. Like, why not? We should be like people that are Giants fans usually hate the Jets and Jets hate the Giants. So yeah, let's create this whole rivalry deal where, hey, who's the best team here? And have the coaches go back and forth in the media. I'm sure they get along great behind closed doors, but yeah, why not?
I think I appreciate Coach Bob Saleh a lot, by the way, because didn't he come out and say something about Zach Wilson too in the holdout? Something happened. Bob said something, didn't he?
I thought
Sure
he was
he
just.
I thought Coach said something like, "Hey, I need you here." Like
Yeah,
you
I
need
mean,
you.
he probably doesn't like being called Bob either.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if I was to talk to him, I'd say, "Hey, Coach, is there any chance I can call you Bob Saleh?"
Boom.
Yeah. And if he says no, I go, "All right, Coach, here we go.
He
Let's
looks
go."
good. He looks healthy.
He does. He looks very good. And every player has come out and said they love him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Every player that's ever played is like, "Hey, we love this guy." Now, will that be enough to turn around the New York Jets?
We'll see.
We shall see.
Tough division.
You like Zach Wilson or not? You think he's going to be good?
I do like Zach Wilson. I didn't watch enough of him in college, I think, to like predict where he's going to be in college. I thought Sam Darnold coming out of college looked great. I really did. Like I thought I still think he could turn it around in Carolina. But
okay.
I mean, judging quarterbacks, come on, man. Like you got to have a lot of pieces around you.
Well, not only that, it's also how do you know if a quarterback's going to be a guy? You don't. You literally you can guess, I guess, but I have no idea how you actually find out if somebody. How do you know the person is going to watch more film and study harder than everybody? How do you know that they're going to be a good lead? How do you know that they're going to be well liked? How do you know they're going to stay humble? How do you know any of that? I guess there's indicators and you try to interview them or whatever, but there's been so many misses on quarterbacks. It is going to be very difficult, especially in New York. And hopefully Zach Wilson is somebody that breaks through for that organization because since Mark Sanchez has been under center running into centers, there hasn't been a lot of winning over there.
And you mentioned, too, like the stats that come out of training camp are like kind of misleading because you what did you say, Mac Jones?
AJ,
Yeah, the twos and the ones. Yeah.
Hey, so This was something that I thought of yesterday whenever Cam Newton threw 2 picks, I guess, in the same period. And then immediately afterwards, Mac threw a pick as well. And I said, well, there's a very good chance that they're just repeating plays for the 1s and the 2s and the 3s. And there's a chance that one of the particular plays against one particular defense is not something that they're going to continue to carry into the next day or whatever. Chris Long talked about how earlier schematically on things on the offensive side, there's some days where they look bad early and our defense can kind of move around or whatever. But does that happen everywhere? Same plays, right? And I remember people getting chewed out like, oh, what a hero. You knew exactly what play was coming on play 3 of this series or whatever and jumped that whole thing. Does that happen everywhere?
Oh, yeah, I think that absolutely happens. But especially this early in camp, yeah, you're going to repeat a lot of the plays because they have a chunk of plays they're going to install for that day, and they're going to work on them. So they may come out in different order, but most likely the 1s, 2s, and 3s are going to see the same kind of plays.
Yeah, and what we're saying is when the 1s are on the field going against the 1s.
If you're smart, by the way, something to cut you off. If you're smart and you're a 2 or 3, you watch every play. Like, okay, this is when I'm going to cheat and get a pick and try to make the team.
Bingo. That is exactly what I was referring to because there's been a couple vets, special teams vets, guys that have been around and grinded to get through like year 4, year 5 somehow, but they're on the defense side of the ball and they might be running with the 3s or the 2s in training camp, they have to prove that they can at least be a serviceable defensive player if they're going to keep them on the roster with their salary for a special teamer and everything like that. And you see some of those safeties that are in there and they're just watching the first 2 series and they're like, all right, play 3, we're running a quick out route there. That's going to be a pick 6 for sure. Gotcha. And then first 2 plays, just kind of go backpedal, kind of stay out of the way, run to the ball. And then that 3rd play that has been with the 1s and it has been run with the 2s, there's a good chance that's coming with the 3s on the 3rd play. The break on the ball immediately. And media people probably have great sense of the play or whatever. And everybody else in film is like, okay, you knew the fucking play. Way to go. That is an entire... That's why these stats that come out with who's throwing with the 1s and who's throwing with the 2s and install still, it's very hard to take any of it that seriously because everybody's going to look much differently 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. But I can understand how we get excited immediately upon seeing any completion.
Especially when, to your point about how we had anything since February, when you start seeing any sort of football stats, it's like, oh my God, we are so back.
15 and 19 or something like that, yeah. Mac. Cam's like 4 of 8 or something.
I mean, we have no idea. We really have no idea how they're doing, though. It's called practice for a reason because you're going to practice things, you're going to work on things. And guess what? 90% of them probably aren't going to work, but the only way you know is if you try it in practice against these guys on your own team.
And there is a chance, listen to this, in practice, when things are getting installed, it's going to blow some minds. There's a chance that somebody does something wrong.
What?
No.
How?
Yeah.
How?
Every single play.
Yeah, I'm talking
no.
Like maybe the wide receiver that was being targeted actually just completely ran the wrong route.
No, they don't fuck up.
Yeah, and then in the NFL, the defensive back just picks that thing off, and it's like, oh, a pick for the quarterback.
I saw Jalen. You see Jalen Ramsey had a pick to like a 100-yard pick to the house in practice. The place went crazy.
That's good news because normally the defense is getting dunked on in practice, and the fans are cheering. That is that was
everyone wants to. Yeah, no one wants the defense to win in practice, especially
ever in training camp. I remember there was one camp where Luck, I think, was just opening it up to TY, and it was like 3-4 in one night or whatever. Place was going bonkers. And I think me and Vinny looked at each other and were like, man, our defense fucking stinks.
Shit.
Hey, we are going to get killed here, huh? We got to figure this out. They'll figure it out. It's like, I mean, these fans are very happy. Wait until this games are 49-49. Yeah. I mean, that is the interesting thing of training camp. Everybody loves the offense. Just the way it goes. You defensive folks have to understand that. Did you get to listen to Chris Long talk at all? Do you know Chris Long?
I mean, I know him somewhat well. Like not, I don't see him in person ever. But yeah,
he went to bat heavy for MCDC.
He did actually. I saw that part when he talked about a typical NFL hardo. I thought that was got me thinking about it. I'm like, you're right, man. It's true. Like hardos don't communicate and talk and are fun with the media and do all that. They're just usually kind of miserable.
Yeah, forced to do press. They do it for 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Say nothing. Go in. Football. Let me put my big old dip in. I'm gonna eat, and then everybody can get the fuck out of the way. And I'm going to watch film, drop cards.
30 Diet Cokes while I'm sitting up here and dip spit all over the place. Yeah.
As he was saying that, by the way, just like you, I was like, valid. Very, very valid. And I didn't know people were calling him a hardo, by the way. I thought he was just meathead. Is that the same thing?
No.
I
don't think
In
so.
my eyes, a meathead and a hardo are two very different things.
Much different.
Okay, cool. I'm happy we're on the same page here.
Very different. Hardo usually
means like douche.
Yeah. Prick.
I was called a douche, I think, by somebody last week.
Chris Long today.
He called me a douche?
No, I'm just
Himself.
kidding. He called himself a douche, and you actually said, hey, I don't want to sound like a douche here.
Oh, a non-self-aware
Yes.
douche. We're talking about the media. And I am a douche. I mean, I understand that. I understand it. But, like...
I don't think that's the case.
I mean, it depends. There's been a lot of times. You know, at one point I thought the name of the book was probably going to be From Douche to Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's going to happen, I guess, in your life. But I hadn't been called a douche in a long time in person. It was pretty comical.
When did you start hearing it?
Is falling off a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has fallen off. I think maybe that's why I was like, fucking A.
Well,
man.
I'm
Still
trying to
got
think. Like, I don't remember as a young kid people throwing around calling them douchebags. Right? I feel like that. I don't know when that came along. It's like the last 15, 20 years.
I think but it's already ran its course too. I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It has.
It was.
What are you going to replace it with? Cuck?
No, I think Simp replaced it for the younger generation.
Yeah, all right. Well, I think simp is different.
My bad, guys.
Completely.
Such terrible things I'm saying.
You can't.
Well, you tried to turn the show into a cuck show when I wasn't in fucking studio the one time, the first time you hosted here. You didn't have a suit on. You tried to turn it into a full cuck show. Yeah, you did. I remember.
That was you.
Yeah.
I was on vacation for a
bitch.
day.
Thought
Took
he
a
was
day off.
Dr. Phil.
We're cucking all over the place.
You're not helping. See a great shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Oos.
Stand up.
Oos got the juice.
Got the juice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That boy's eight.
Dahn since day one. A shot. Dahn since. Hey, their song in the arena, it hits very hard. Like it is a very
bumps.
It's a very good song, I think.
Everyone gets up.
Who's got your favorite on the roster now besides
Cena?
Roman?
Who's what?
Who's got your favorite entrance song right now besides Roman?
I mean,
Roman's song is
Well,
awesome.
yeah, and
but
besides
come on.
Shinsuke.
Hey, Roman had that one song for so long.
Shinsuke, obviously.
Roman had that one song for so long. Okay, and it was early in my time at SmackDown when he debuted the new song. And as soon as it came on, I almost said something. I was almost like, "This is new." And they told me like basically like, "Hey, let
it eat.
let this thing eat or whatever." And the internet at first was like, "Why'd they change his song? It's terrible." And literally, as soon as I heard it, I was like, "I don't think that's an accurate description of what I'm hearing here." That thing goes hamski. How about that big animated thing they have?
Oh, that's so sweet.
What is that thing? 700 feet tall.
Yeah.
That thing is so. I don't know.
What is it?
I know who your favorite is.
What's that song?
Yeah,
Who?
Tamina.
Hers is good.
You see her? She did a Samoan drop to put away PewDiePie on Monday night. I think I saw it on the internet.
PewDiePie, the YouTuber?
Yeah, he was there.
No, shout out. He put us on their thing. That hey,
Shout out.
that guy's made like $1 billion and has crushed YouTube.
He got
Congrats.
canceled for a while, didn't he?
How's AJ know who
I think he was
that's
on
how he
YouTube
knows
since
who
he was
it
like
is.
12 years old, though. I think.
Yeah.
I was wondering how AJ knew
OG.
who he was, and then he got canceled. And AJ hasn't listed everyone who's been canceled and why.
Yeah,
so
I
that he
don't-
could bring it up in the conversation.
Yeah, just ask like, "Oh, what happened? I didn't hear it."
Yeah.
Oh, look at your tank top.
I don't know what he did. That's the only reason I was made aware of PewDiePie because he got canceled. I said, "Oh, what's going on? Who's this person?"
But I don't know about any of that. All I know is I guess my face going like that or something on SmackDown was a
Thumbnail.
thumbnail. Pretty big deal, I guess, on the internet
He's got
streets.
thumbnail.
Cesaro's got a good intro as well. I like his.
How's it sound?
It's like it goes hard. It's like boom, boom, boom. It's sweet.
Obviously,
Something like that.
Obviously,
I don't know it to a T.
That is not
like
exactly
Bon
what it
Jovi.
is.
That was
I got
about
it.
as
I got
close
it.
as you
I
can
know you
get.
But
Pretty close,
Shinsuke Nakamura's theme song was literally has been my ringtone since I heard it. Okay, so
How long has he had it? Like, how long has he been around?
when he came into the WWE, I don't know. He was I think he was obviously big in Japan, and I don't know how many other indies and everything. He was massive name though, because whenever he came to WWE and debuted, the internet wrestling community went bananas, obviously. And I think he went right in with AJ Styles. I think he had in a run with, or I don't remember how he came in, but they debuted with a violinist in this thing, and I was like, God, this is awesome. And the entire place was singing it, and it was bigger than any match he got into was the entrance. It was like Fandango whenever he came around and
Man, it's a shame he's out of the game.
No, Dirty Dango's back, by the way. I think he's wrestling still. Yeah, Dirty Dango. I don't know. I saw him promoting something. I think he's doing some events, which is good. But so I've always loved it. Then he became a bad guy, and the song was too good. The fans kept singing with him, and they didn't want him to be sang along with. They wanted him to be a bad guy. So they put a rap over top of it, and it absolutely ruined the song. Like, it absolutely ruined the song. So when it was brought back with Boogs, like, I was genuinely excited, and then now it's become an entire fucking thing where I almost pass out, losing my mind every time.
Yeah.
But it is still my alarm clock. I mean, it is still my alarm clock, has been for a long time. That one goes pretty ham, but Romans is just like,
What does Cena sound like? What does it sound like?
Well, there's what the horns say. You know what I mean?
Which
Paul
intro
Heyman.
song?
Paul Heyman nailed it.
Yeah, he did.
Paul Heyman did it live on TV. Actually.
Can Connor like hum it for me or something?
Yeah, sure.
No, not gonna let that happen. Let's go to the phones.
Hey, when are you gonna kick Adam Cole in the mouth again?
Yeah, it's been 1 year.
Yeah.
Happy 1 year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been 1 year since I kicked the soul out of a scumbag's body. That was pretty cool, man. You kind of see it in the video. I got to watch it back today. You kind of see his soul, like, it was almost in How High, in How High when they had
Ivory.
Yeah, like as I kicked him, I actually saw his little scumbag. Oh shit! What am I doing? I'm an idiot. And then obviously I was a special guest that night in the middle of my honeymoon. I go, and I was told that we were going to make it right. Then that whole thing unfolds, and then Triple H is trying to shove me through a wall, by the way.
Wow.
Okay, trying to shove me through a wall. It's like, what type of fucking place is this? And I still have those questions to this day. I think 99.9999999% of people would have sued for the way I was treated
Probably
in the
should've.
physical assault. And I probably
still trying to.
You could have, and should have.
Yeah.
Still with your colitis situation with
You got
Adam
a
Cole.
neck injury. You got a neck injury out of it.
Yeah, hurt my neck like hell.
Andrew colitis acted
Yeah,
up.
my fucking stomach was messed up. I had diarrhea for a week after that.
It's gonna be hard to put a price tag on that, isn't it, Adam Cole?
Yeah.
That guy stinks.
Yeah,
He
he's
does.
up, right?
What's that?
He's up. He's up for a new deal.
Well, fucking A. Hopefully he doesn't get one, loser.
Place would be much better without him.
Hey, that's a big time conversation piece on the internet right now, by the way. I hate the guy.
Hate his guts.
I think he's the absolute worst, but
Get him out.
that'll be big, whatever happens with that fucking scumbag. He is. I mean, I hate to do it, but the reason why I hate him so much is because, he's on TV. I have to fucking watch the guy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
oh,
hopefully they send him to New Tokyo so we don't have to see him in it.
that's New Japan. Have a little respect, please.
Jeez.
That is pretty
I
big.
mean, Tony,
Come on, dude.
Tone?
What are you doing?
Hey, I'm actually kind of impressed that you even had it close. I'm actually.
For me, that's actually spot on.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You knew was in there. You had seen it from the Tokyo Dome potentially.
Knows where it is.
So know where Cena is now?
Whoa.
No, he is not. He does not wrestle in Japan. He's on Friday Night SmackDown, I believe.
Oh yeah.
And Monday Night Raw. It's a summer scene, and he's also
He's
in a
still
mask on
dressed
first
up as the Peacemaker. Asshole hasn't taken the costume off.
Oh,
yet.
I saw this. Hey, so today I was in my basement. My 8-year-old son had 2 kids spend the night, and my YouTube, they come down in the morning, and on YouTube I see the thumbnail of Cena dressed up at like the premiere, and he's doing interviews. And the first thing the lady asked him, like, "Hey, is it true you've had this costume on for the last 3 weeks or something?" And then Cena went into his whole bit and all this stuff, and it was just amazing. Like it looked like he got the costume at Walmart, kind of too.
Well, okay, so you're going after the costume department where there are Grammys.
No. I'm not going after anybody. I'm just saying
Oscars.
It was an entertaining clip. What I meant by the boys, though, the boys came walking down, and they're like, "Is that John Cena? What's he wearing?" And then they just sat there and stared at him
Bro,
for like a minute.
Listen, I appreciate the fact that he is promoting the shit out of this character. Okay, I guess it's getting its own thing on HBO. Like, I'm very excited for him to have that happen, and I'm happy that he's buying in all the way. It was difficult to listen to him give serious answers about sports and life in that costume on First Take, but hey, Suicide Squad's coming out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good marketing. I think it's good marketing. And people say that movie's really good, by the way.
Getting great reviews.
I assume he crushes it.
Who else is
there.
in that?
Sly Stallone.
Idris Elba.
Sly Stallone owes like the Avengers.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, yeah.
Sly Stallone's the shark, so he's just a voice actor.
Will Smith was in it, the first
Yeah.
one. Now
Yes.
he's not in this one. He'll probably make a return in the third one, like Fast and Furious, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Smart.
Is Vin Diesel in this?
He's not.
No. He's shooting it different.
What's that all about?
He's only got time for
Fast 10.
family.
Yeah.
What happens in Suicide Squad? They kill people?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
They're a bunch of criminals. They bring them together
yeah,
for
they
a
work
team.
together.
Anti-heroes, I believe they call them.
There it is.
Could you imagine just getting your ass kicked by John Cena in that costume? That's got to be tough.
No thanks.
That's happening, I think, in Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah. Over Cena crushes it.
And by the way, John Cena could beat the hell out of me with that costume, without that costume, whatever the case is. I'm just saying it's got to be tough to watch. I might feel that uncomfortable thing.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you doing it? You see Cena normal, now he's got that whole costume on. He's probably going to fucking kill you. What are you even doing?
Well, in his mind, he looks han good, so it's not like he has any thought of that or losing.
Once again, his sister was adopted
From China. I've been to Shanghai. I've seen the Great Wall.
And he does speak Mandarin.
Boom. Ni hao wa. That's hello, how are you? She she. That's thank you.
I know that.
Wow.
I think I know to that extent.
Uh-huh.
But you did translate Han to so for me.
Yes.
So every time you say Han,
Han.
is so. Like
Yes.
it is a
Boom.
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you say information?
All right.
In the same way that we've been to Barcelona,
I have been to China, multiple cities.
And by the way, I've been to Japan and I heard Mike Tirico say Ohio something, which means good morning in Japanese.
And you remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Boom.
Don't say Ohio in the afternoon though, you look like a jackass. Well, I'm an American in Japan dressed the way I am. I always look like a jackass.
don't say Ohio ever because that state stinks.
Hell yeah.
Oh. Whoa. OH.
I'm so offended. Oh, IO to you, Zeke.
Fuck you, dude.
He didn't mean it. He was mocking you too.
Oh, I wasn't mocking. I would never mock Zeke.
No, Zeke was mocking you.
That's fine. He can mock me. I will not mock him. He's a good guy.
Mocking.
Zeke is a good guy.
Thanks, guys.
He's a great guy.
He's very good at his job.
He is Han, good at his job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Han.
Hey,
Cool,
so-
too.
Shishini.
He is Han, impressive as a person, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he really is.
Let's go to the phones.
So you tell me Cena has 2 blockbuster movies out like within a month of each other?
Yeah, and he's traveling around the country for the WWE. What we're saying is he is Han, impressive.
Boom.
And Han, busy.
He's not the lead role in anything, though.
But he is also Han, driven to get there, though.
True.
Uh-huh.
That's fine.
He is the lead in Vacation Friends coming out soon, though, too.
Hey, can we please not sell? John Cena's movies have all been good.
Oh, yeah.
So far.
Ferdinand.
Name 'em all.
Ferdinand.
What?
What's that one? I didn't see that.
It's a bull.
Him and Peyton Manning are bulls, and it'll bring you to tears.
It's awesome.
It's they're voice actors.
Yes.
Still acting. Okay, maybe the hardest form
I
of
know.
thespian out
agree.
there. John Cena. He was also in that one with Amy Schumer.
Trainwreck.
He
He
was
was
also
good in that. Cena was very good in that.
bingo. He was also in that one where he was a dad and he ends up anal bonging something.
Cock blockers.
Oh, yeah.
I actually did like that.
Yeah.
Wait, he was butt chugging beers or what?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he was forcing it for his daughter or something. I mean, he was a hero.
For his daughter.
I don't remember the entire story, but it was a good movie. Everything in the Marine, obviously.
There's a Firehouse movie where he's a fireman and they adopt someone, I'm pretty sure.
I don't want you to turn this into what you normally do. I'm being serious. John Cena
I
reads a
am
script.
too. John Cena, did he just all he did during COVID was film blockbuster movies? Like this dude he works more than Seacrest.
Well, he does, okay, because it's hustle, loyalty, respect.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was looking for. He still does this though. He still does the deal with fingers.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Some people don't think that.
What do you mean?
You're talking about the guys that shoot threes.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
Mellow.
And they do this.
Yeah, people are like, oh, three-pointer, yeah.
Well, I'm also thinking maybe he's doing a dog in a puppet show.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see LeBron super pissed that people are calling his team old?
I did see that he responded to everybody's negative energy, telling them to fucking keep that.
Keep that.
Okay, keep
I
it.
remember.
Listen, Braun and the boys are going to go win another title. We all know it. Frank Vogel's going to have those stallions running out there.
Yeah.
The management of the bodies next year for them might have to look a little bit different, but who says that there isn't some body guru out in LA that can't figure that thing out completely? They might be able to play till they're 50. That team's going to win. And if you don't think so, you're wrong.
Maybe after football season, Russ will let LeBron use his body guru.
So I hope so. But there's 5 of them. For Russ, the the All the Smoke interview with Carmelo Anthony. I saw a clip the other day that was very fascinating. So back when Melo and Braun were coming out of high school, they only knew each other from like Slam, some magazine. There's the only way you knew about anybody, because there's no internet back then. There's nothing really. So the only way they really knew was by other people's rankings and pictures. In Melo, I think the year before he got to Oak Hill Academy, a year before he got there, Saint X or whatever had played against them, and Braun was there and they beat him or whatever. So I think Melo said his mindset from seeing him on a magazine was like, I want to play against this guy. Like, I want to play against this guy because Melo was a guy. Braun was a guy. Those were they were the two. He said the night before they played each other for the first time, he and LeBron sat down and like talked for like 4 or 5 hours, and they realized like they're the only really people that can relate to each other, similar backgrounds. They've been like best friends basically since high school before they even played against each other. Melo said, the way he explained it to All the Smoke. And now them being on the same team, Melo had a resurgence too after everybody said he wasn't good. Then he goes and starts balling out again. He has not won, right? Melo has not won. No. I mean, this could be a very, very, very good story for Braun and Melo, but there's a lot of people that follow basketball all the time and say you're too damn old, ain't going to be able to keep up with Brooklyn or anybody else out there. I disagree, mostly because Space Jam stunk, so look for LeBron to have a bounce back, a revenge body, a big-time year, because the Lakers did not win last year.
Also, the East is going to be very good, so whoever comes out of that's going to be, worn to pieces, so LeBron will be waiting with the boys.
All right, let's go to Mustard over there in Columbus, Ohio, on the 5-hour energy phone line. Mustard, what's going on, dude?
Hey, how you doing, Pat? The boys, AJ the man.
Mustard. It's on your mom, pal.
How you doing? Good.
He
Hey, heard you had a wiener winner there.
Joe Wiener.
Yeah, Joe Wiener. He's my cousin, man.
Really? Mustard's cousin's Joe Wiener. I never would have got it. I thought it would be that neon green relish. Maybe that would be Mustard's. You know what I mean?
Well, I do relish the name.
Let's go to Dustin in Orlando. Donner on the 5-hour energy phone line. What's going on, Dust?
Oh, no way. What's up, Pat?
Hey,
boys, how we doing?
Hey, let's go, Dustin. It's great to have you here. Can't wait. Yeah, let's go.
Football's back tonight. Shout out Steelers.
Woo! Here we go.
Steelers.
Here we go. Pittsburgh's going to Super Bowl. Here we go. Go Powers in the Hall of Fame. Here we go. Polamalu, you know the name. Here we go. Dewey Haskins throwing 6 touchdowns. Here we go. The Cowboys gonna have a bunch of frowns. Here we go. Steelers. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, NFL football is back.
Officially.
It is all the way back. What's going on, Dustin?
All right, so I know it's crazy. It's going to be a crazy hypothetical, but what if, Mason comes out, he flings it on the Cowgirls, and, with the coach, in need of a QB, maybe send us a 4th round or something crazy like that?
Hey, Dustin, don't be trying to send us Mason Rudolph, pal.
No, you can.
We got enough problems already out here. You hear me?
Need an extra washing machine back at the facility.
Well, when I heard they needed, what did he say about Ed Monix? When I heard they needed a washing machine down in Memphis, I had to pull the trigger. Oh man, let's go to Juan in Illinois.
Thank you, Jackie.
Hey, what if Rudolph just goes out and slings it tonight? Have we thought about that?
He did against the Browns in that one game last
Hasn't
year.
really crossed my mind.
Big Ben hot seat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look out.
No.
Might be a controversy.
Yes.
No.
Controversy. But
there it is.
Rover is well in there because we're on Mars a little bit ago.
Boom.
Yeah, just don't go Rover.
There it is.
I've never puked before.
You ever been punched in your jejunum?
Punched my hamstring. Let's go to Juan in Illinois. What's going on? Well, that movie.
So many.
Top notch.
Oh, yeah.
The Semi-Pro. I think I went and watched it in the theater twice. And that was at a time where I think I was in college maybe. It was, what a homer. And then, the issue was what had happened after that was Will put out that one movie where they were spies or detectives or investigators.
Oh, Watson and Holmes.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
That was tough.
That was tough.
But let's not forget Semi-Pro. fucking
Yeah.
masterpiece.
Circa 2009.
What do you want to talk about? Juan in Illinois on the 5-Hour Energy phone lines, 5hourenergy.com. Use promo code McAfee. Get 10% off everything, even their original summer flavors that have a delightful aftertaste. Juan, what do you want to talk about?
I just wanted to know how good it felt kicking Adam Cole in the fucking mouth. I know AJ was probably bummed because he's a good guy.
He's a great guy. Shut up, dude.
God damn it, AJ. This is why
Cesaro
the show was never going to win any Emmy.
Yeah, you're right. Juan, let him know any other thoughts you have about him too. Please let it out now, Juan.
I mean, hey.
Oh my God! He's a clown! Juan, now run.
We need you, Juan.
Bro, let's not let one bobble at the end judge the entire call.
No, great call. Fucking backdoor breaking ball. Buckle his knees mid-time. Was ready for it.
He was not ready. Blindside block on him.
I like
all
Juan.
over himself.
Yeah, no, but Juan came in. I mean, he was wow.
3 for 4, not a bad day.
Yeah, you're only as good as your last cut.
That's what they say.
Juan bumbled that call like my bets last night.
Once again, that was not actual Gumpy saying that. Although it did look like him and sound like him.
I forgot my hat today, pal.
Oh, no. Once again, that is not actually Gumpy. We do not want to have a misrepresentation. The blue check mark is down here, not back there.
That's right.
Even though it sounds exactly like him.
Looks like him.
It does look exactly like him, too.
Whoa.
Gumpy impersonation is what the highest form of flattery is.
That's right.
I don't know who's doing it back there, but they're nailing it.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan Campbell impersonations are coming full circle. Frank Caliendo did one.
Really? How was it? Was it good?
Yeah, he put it out there last night. Ty, we need you, obviously, to continue to do that. If Motor City Dan Campbell has any success at all, Detroit as a city might have a resurgence as a whole. You know what I mean?
100%.
There might be people, moving to the city as opposed to, why? People's asking that question.
Frank's was good?
Yeah, Frank is fucking...
Caliendo, dude.
Yeah, Frank Caliendo.
He hasn't lost a step, really?
I was talking to my brother.
Did you guys watch the same one I watched? Was there two?
I mean, I don't know.
We're not having this. Listen, I did not know this was going to happen. Okay.
The one I saw.
Let's pull it up.
The one I saw.
I haven't seen it, man. Come on. This is a show, right? This is a visual show. This is on YouTube only.
All right, let's get to about a 20-and-a-half-hour break.
Okay. I mean, so
you still standing by Carl Lewis over there, AJ?
Wait, what? What'd you say?
You still standing by Carl
He's
Lewis?
an Olympic
over there?
hero, dude.
Standing by him? I mean, I'm not standing anywhere near him. Carl Lewis has a bunch of gold medals. That's all I know.
Does he still? Because Gumpy found out some information on a commercial break where I think they might have took those.
Are you trying to macho Carl Lewis?
It sounded like
allegations.
Hey, listen.
Allegations that he still has them.
All right, Hammer Don's in 15 minutes or so. We got to get out of
So
here.
we're not going to get to see this clip. I'm going to find it.
It's on the internet. A billion people seeing it.
I'll send it to you.
It's good.
You'll love it.
It's good.
You're the worst liar.
What is this guy doing?
You can't be trusted. You know that.
Who?
You with anything.
Oh, you're a fucking asshole,
Look at your face.
dude. What does this mean, dude? All I'm
How
trying
would
to do.
you slam? How do you slam Frank Caliendo?
We did. What the hell? This is unbelievable. Frank Caliendo, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the program.
You need to relax with everything you're doing right now.
I love Frank. That's why I want to see the
Stop
video.
doing what
Okay,
you're
well,
doing.
you'll find it. I love Frank too. I saw it as soon as he put it out there because I got notifications on the guy. That's how big of a fan I am.
Boom.
So don't you try to be turning that shit in front of me.
I knew you were a big Frank fan. I'm just saying how you were presenting it was like you didn't like it.
I did not present it that way.
No.
He said,
What are you talking about?
That was the first thing he said. He said it was good.
See, now, listen, you're getting a little bit out of
That
line.
means a lot.
And you too, the cowboy.
What do you mean?
That's Benedict Arnold
I
on the
was just
TV
curious
doing
if there was two, if I saw the wrong one.
All right. We're out of here.
You guys are always trying to cause problems.
Oh,
ridiculous.
No, you insulted him a little bit. You insulted him a little bit.
You crossed the line a little bit, huh? You crossed the line out there.
No, let me get a drink.
All right. I'll see you guys, Mignon. AJ, you're big giveaway tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, we're going live tomorrow at 11.
You're talking about the giveaway for the basketball tournament, right? Because we already have that in the works.
Yeah, we are.
Hell yeah.
Who won?
Find out tomorrow.
I actually pulled it up yesterday. I can't remember, but they did win.
I would assume
Somebody won?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody did.
No.
No. Someone swooped in and won with the correct team and score or whatever.
No.
Holy
my
shit.
God.
Uh-huh.
So what do they get?
$5,000 and maybe a Bitcoin if they won the overall. I don't know.
Maybe.
Basketball tournament, man. They used the Elam scoring rule.
Race to 69.
No, not a race to 69. It's a race to 8 points at higher than the highest score at the first time out post 4-minute commercial TV break.
Well said.
Jason Elam?
Well, I don't think Jason Elam, who is a legendary kicker, is a part of it. It's actually a Ball State professor named something Elam, Dr. Elam.
Nice.
He did some math. They use it in the All-Star game. They use it in the basketball tournament. So whenever the TV timeout happens, the first one after the 4-minute break, whenever it is, you add 8 points to the highest score, and then you race to get to that score. Both teams do. In this particular case, basketball tournament, the highest score, the Bayheim Army was at 61 points at that timeout. Put 8 on there. It was a race to 69, and there was a dagger hit. And it really, it was exciting, obviously, because $1 million was on the line. But if you hear that, it kind of takes away the buzzer beater, but I guess it makes the game a little bit quicker and more effective, is what they say. I don't know. Fucking Elam.
Still a good moment.
$1 million.
Yeah. So if you're winning at the timeout, you magically get 8 points added to your score.
No. The race ends at 8 points plus that.
Whatever.
First to hit that
No idea
number.
what you're talking about.
Well, you play with timed.
Don't we just try to score the most points?
Yeah. Well, they shut off the time at that timeout, and then it's just. The leading team has to get 8 more points, and then whoever else is behind has to catch up and then score that 8 points. So whoever gets there quick, I think it's supposed to speed things up.
It's like the NBA All-Star game, how they've been doing it.
Oh yeah, I watched that in its entirety.
There you go.
I'm sure you did.
195 to 193.
Exactly.
All right, I'll see everybody tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be live here. AJ, what time are you going to join us? Is that 1 o'clock, noon?
Yeah, probably 1. Yeah, I got something till 12.
All right, sure. Join us whenever. We'll be lucky to do it. Wait till you see these guests tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Baby.
Incredible.
And then I'm heading down to Tampa Bay. Home of the Bolts. Back-to-back Stanley Cup champs and Tampa Bay.
Go Boats.
Go Boats.
Go Boats. Go Boats. Shack it up with AB.
I'm going in. Well, actually, can't get into the house because AB's in there. But, hey, he needs to go to win another Super Bowl. I'm just flying in.
Hey, hopefully. You think there's a chance AB opens a drawer looking for his toothbrush and he finds Ty's Jake Laser wig just sitting there and he's very confused?
No, it's here, dude.
No, what are you talking about?
We did bring that back, but there are other things that are probably in some drawer somewhere in that house.
Yeah.
I think it's all going to rhyme with smarijuana. There's probably going to be.
That's where we left
Oh,
decent amount.
Oh,
Can I get that actually?
He might be filming one of his movies there,
Oh,
too.
come on. Hey,
dude.
by the way, for our time down in Tampa, shout out to Dalton, dude. I don't know if you'll see this, Dalton.
Shout out.
But shout out to you, Dalton.
Thank you, Dalton.
Thank
you, Dalton.
Did the boys need me? Is what Dalton said.
Yeah.
The first week we were down there. And Dalton stepped up to the plate and he did it.
We needed him, too.
We did need him.
Yeah.
Big time.
Hey, Dalton, I'm landing like 3:30.
Need you, Dalton.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. We don't need that. We were doing it legally. I have my card, but of
course,
early we did not, so we had to utilize somebody. Big fan of the show.
Legend.
Dalton is a legend. Without Dalton, a lot of things don't probably happen that first couple weeks.
No,
that's right.
Could you imagine the draft without Dalton?
That's 7-hour affair. Oh my word!
Love you, Dalton.
Thank you, Dalton.
15 minutes from now, Hammer Dahn, youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. We're back tomorrow at 11 a.m. We're going to give Eastern. We're going to give away some money. We're going to announce a winner for the basketball tournament. We're going to have a great Feel Good Friday and hopefully wrap up this beautiful week. We will not be having a Sirius show, so I don't know if you normally watch Sirius and then watch us on YouTube or listen on Sirius and watch on YouTube. We will not be having a Sirius show because some tech thing happened last week that made it almost impossible for us to start an hour before and then launch it at noon.
Almost crashed the whole goddamn race.
So is anybody? What's going to be on air 12 to 3 on Sirius tomorrow?
So it's going to be a best of the week, and then they are scheduling somebody else for next Friday. And then once football season, that ain't happening anymore. You know what I mean? Once football season, we ain't doing it no more. We're going live, long, hopping on a plane. Hopefully that'll be ready to go and getting out.
Hell yeah.
We'll see if it works, I guess.
Thank you.
Football season. Even those words.
Yeah.
It's here.
Good word.
Bro, tomorrow we'll at least be able to speak about a football activity.
Yes.
It has been AJ, and you're just so calm, cool, collected, and toxic that you probably don't even do this. But like, there was numerous times this past off season where I've gotten into the shower in the morning and been like, the fuck am I going to talk about with the boys for 3.5 hours today?
I think that Monday after the draft, it was like, oh shit.
We are staring down a hard time. And our viewers and listeners, whyever or however they listen, we have to give them a show still. There was a lot of times where I was very worried about what we were going to do. We somehow forged the river. There was some times where we lost it all. We lost it all out there on the Yukon Trail. There was a couple shows that were not fantastic, but now at least we can, allude to football happening.
Yes!
And I am very, very grateful for the NFL happening tonight.
I mean, I think everybody feels that way. Every show has to deal with that stuff. Sometimes I like it. I like when there's not a whole lot to talk about.
Well, me too. And sometimes we get into the conversation, we start going, And I think that is when we potentially do get a chance to shine against some other people when there is nothing to talk about. Whenever things happen, we all have the same stuff to talk about, so you just kind of got to go and whatever. But there has been a couple shows where we had no target that we were aiming at, and we just started going.
Yeah.
Those days are going to happen every offseason. I'm excited for those. But I'll tell you what, sitting down in this chair as that 5-minute thing counts down, and I'm looking down at the paper, and there's just a bunch of shit that does not fucking matter at all. It is quite an interesting feeling every single day.
Yeah.
But guess what? Did the Steelers beat the fucking Cowboys or not?
Here we go.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Is that a new offense that's going to be in the NFL this year?
What?
Is Mason Rudolph potentially going to become a starter in the NFL? Is Dewey Haskins all the way back? Are you fucking kidding me? Mike McCarthy. I don't know how many watermelons he's smashed.
Yes.
The boys are flying around. That's without Dak Prescott. Wait until healthy Dak's out there. Did I watch 7 Hall of Famers give speeches last night on Thursday Night Football? What? Oh my God, we are back. We are back. Thank God for tonight, AJ. I will see you tomorrow whenever you can join us. To everybody watching, we're starting at 11 tomorrow, live right here, youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Big guests, big conversations, big giveaways, hopefully. We'll see you then. Cheers.